keep them mute.
Freedom isn't free at all, but it comes with the highest of costs.
We have you, the listeners, and the hosts at
Revolution Radio
for allowing us to bring you a platform of free speech.
Right now, it's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines,
watch for now. Sometimes the
wind is blowing cold and dark on the road and no way out. Broken house, the smoking gun, on the run.
Allow me to adjust my pants so that I may dance the good time dance and put the onlookers and innocent bystanders into a trance. Give the cease or the swine who marry and propagate lies. Tough luck for elected officials. The beast you see got 50 eyes. Bring it on home, spread the wealth, play it cool, the hand's been dealt. Now all the odds are in our favor. Save the victory speeches for later. Streets on fire, the mob goes wild, wild, wild. Streets on fire, the mob goes wild. 21 guns, box made of pine. Letter from the government, sealed and signed. Delivered Federal Express on your mother's doorsteps. 21 guns, box made of pine. Letter from the government, sealed and signed. Delivered Federal Radio. Welcome to the jungle.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the broken down, low rent, sleazy, double greasy pirate radio Nut Hut Studios, it's time for the very first ever Southern.
It's Friday night. Hey, wow, you made it. So did I. My name's Jimmy, and in to the microcosm is on the air.
Say whatever you have to say. I'll stand by you and do whatever you have to do to get it out and not become a reactionary to hurt the ones you love. You know you never meant to, but you did. Oh yeah, you did. And be whoever you have to be. I won't judge you, and sing whatever you have to sing to get it out and not become a recluse about your house. Come out, I know you never meant to, but you did. Oh, but you did. Still I need your sway, 'cause you always pay for it, and I need your soul, 'cause you're always so full, and I need your heart, 'cause you're always in the right places. And take whatever you have to take. You know I love you. And come however you have to come, and get it out and get it out. Take it out on me and take it out on me. I give you all, I give you all.
as unbelievable as it may seem. Another 7 days has gone by. Rock in Rio. Are you there?
I am.
Well, freeworld.fm is not online tonight. It's revolution.radio, the independent broadcast network. My name's Jimmy. That's Rock in Rio. We are the dynamic duo at the current moment. I don't know where the Epic Journeyman is. Last time I saw him, he walked off into the mist wearing his Hawaiian shirt with the pineapples on it. And we haven't seen him since. I think he had one of those boat drinks in his hand, with the little umbrellas, Rio.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Little fruity drinks with the umbrellas.
So S90 was also going to join us tonight. And I haven't reached out to him on Skype, but maybe you could. That's right. Somehow, some way you found it. It's into the microcosm where we ask the question, what the fuck is going on around here? Whoops, sorry about that. Just reached that point. Hasn't it, Rio? The F-bombs.
Some strange stuff going on lately, I tell you.
I just mean F-bombs are ready to flow at any given moment. I mean, people have gone completely nutter, haven't they? I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Dudes eating a piece of leg from a guy that got run over on the train.
Yeah, some weirdness.
And then what's all this shit going on about these warnings going out about power failures next week? Severe power failures, severe heat in Texas. They're warning, EPCOT is warning people that next week the grid will be taxed and to be prepared for power going out for hours at a time.
Yeah, well, it's all planned, I'm sure. It's...
And the National Guard just happens to be in place ahead of time. But don't forget, Revolution Radio is fully listener supported, and we're running low over there. The Red Man is looking at us. The Red Man's got red ass, doesn't he, Rio?
Yeah, he does.
He does.
But that's
so
typical.
Somebody's been monkeying around over at freeworld.fm with the schedule, which caused a whole snafu and a foobar.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Well, you fixed it, but I'm still not connecting. So
you could try again. It might work.
I don't think it is. I doubt it. I'll you know what? For you, Rio, because I love you, bro. I will go over here and roll the dice, as I have faith in your technical ability, but it's just the unpredictability. No, sir.
No, still not connected, huh?
No. Alright, that's the last time I'm going to waste time messing with it, and I'm not going to mention it again.
Maybe I can do it.
We have to get on with our lives. We only got 3 hours, and there's more show than there is hours. Now let me go see who is knocking at my back door over here. I was hearing rattlings in Skype, and I don't know if the Epic Journeyman, he got called into work on the Big Island, so that must mean he says he's going to try to dial in on the highway. Well, I'm on the edge of my seat, Epic Journeyman, waiting for you to dial in. Now, did you see this picture of the eclipse from Elon Musk's satellite?
No.
It only showed the shadow of the moon was only 70 miles wide. The circumference of it. Do you find that to be a bit odd?
The measurements were a little off. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying something's not right. In more ways than one. That's right. So, anyway, what's going on with this power thing now? Are we about to be scorched? What's going on? Have you heard about this now? I mean, you have property in Texas, don't you?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, there's property down there. So.
Well, so I mean, aren't you worried? have you talked to your sister still there, right?
Yeah, they're still. Well, my sister's still there. Yeah, and my father's still there. And they actually had a fairly large earthquake the other day too, but she says she didn't feel it. So it was a little bit farther west in Texas, but it's about as big as the one here in New York, or well, I should say New Jersey.
You're obsessed with these earthquakes now, aren't you?
Well,
because you made that prediction. Now you don't want your predictions to come true, do you? See, that's the thing about these ideas that get formulated on these shows like ours, similar in the sense that they bring information to the table, is that you don't actually want your suppositions based on limited information to cause the actual thing to happen,
Yeah, well,
you don't actually. I mean, when you're reporting on some potentiality, you don't actually want it to happen. In other words, every time you're wrong, you're glad because you don't want it to be the end of the world, man. So I mean, we didn't say it was going to be the end of the world on the eclipse, but I mean, we're still here. Everybody's still here. Unfortunately, I can't read in Hebrew. So, but I saw someone put forward that there is a permit, and they showed the permit for an altar and for knives for the red heifer ritual. I also saw that, again, this Iran thing keeps raising its head. I also saw that there was an attack being prepared. And it wasn't going to happen during the week because they didn't want to mess up the stock market. So if something was going to happen, it was going to happen this weekend. And so we'll see. I guess we're in the weekend now, right? We're on Saturday on the East Coast. So, hey, you had some good news from one of the listeners, eh? We were busting his balls a couple weeks ago. Or at least I was.
Yeah.
I was saying, hey, Rich said he was going to give you a call. And, and then we never heard from him again. Well.
Yeah, he got in contact with us. So.
Right on. So what's happening? He's bringing his rig down there. Going to have you.
I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't in on the conversation, but my boss told me they got connected and they talked about it. So he was asking me about maybe going out there to pick the car up. So.
Where's the car?
About 3 days from here.
In an undisclosed location.
An undisclosed location.
Well, no, that's good. No, but I just think...
In the yonder lands.
No, honestly, I just think that's cool, because we don't... Yeah. Lots of shows have all, they have this, they have that, shirts, they got hats, coffee cups, so on and so forth. We don't have any of that, but one of the listeners contacted Rio about... because Rio's in the classic car restoration business, and so one of the listeners contacted him about doing a car. And what I like about this story, what I really like about what you're telling me, this story, is the most, is that he never fucking talked to you. He only talked to your boss. That means he's a serious dude. He's not just calling up because
in the chat rooms and stuff. But,
no, I'm saying
I've actually spoken to him directly about it.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm saying.
Other than some private messaging, yeah.
I'm just saying, if I was playing poker, I'd say he's a serious dude because he didn't even call you up and talk to you like a friend or because of the show. He was there because of the car. And now, maybe you'll meet him when you drive out there to go get the car. You never know.
Well, if I'm working on it, I'm sure at some point I will talk to him.
Well, 3 days, maybe that's, I don't know, that's a circumference that's easy to figure out. But 3 days and 3 days meaning 3 8-hour days or 3 24-hour days?
Well, it's, yeah.
No, I'm just messing with you. So what else?
It'll take some time to get out there. I mean, probably could do it in 2 if we pushed it. But
well, now did you see that?
Let's put it this way: he's closer to you than he is to me.
Interesting. Well, maybe I should go pick it up and drive it to you.
There you go. He's not that close to you either.
No. Well, I like the fact that it drives. Or do you got to pick it up on a trailer?
I think we were talking about trailering. So.
All right. Well, listen. Enough of Rio's car talk. We were gonna do a Rio's car talk show, weren't we? Call in on the Sundays.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll still take anybody's questions.
It was like
classic car questions.
Rio's.
You can always call the show when we're live and ask. It's not out of the realm.
It's not out of the realm, but it should have its own category, so we don't get red herringed off into the classic car world.
Yeah.
Like it should be like we talked about. You know, I told you Rio's Garage. You know, and you play blues and you talk cars and you open up the lines, dude. Believe me, I guarantee you. Listen, there's nothing more popular than cars. The only thing more popular is tech. Like if you were like Tech Night Owl with Rio or whatever. The phones would be loaded all the time because everyone's got problems with their tech, don't they? I know I do. I got problems with my tech. You know, it's Mercury retrograde. Everything goes wonky, doesn't it? With the tech. Are people having problems with their tech? I think they are. I noticed the internet was a little wonky earlier when I put my feelers out into the ether space to detect any anomalies in the force. It seemed normal, except it was a little slow. And I don't know, Rockin' Rio. It looks like. Now is S90? Are you hooking up S90 to jump in here with us?
I see S90.
All right. Well, you see him, and then therefore
I see him in the chat. So I see him in both chats actually.
All right. Well, so from a quantum perspective, you see him, therefore he is.
That's right.
So now Clyde Lewis tonight was talking about this giant anomaly causing waves down in Africa. And I didn't really pay too much attention to it when I saw it come across the radar screen. But what I was paying attention to was the conversation he was having about it, which included talking about radiation. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because we talked a couple weeks, might have been last week, we talked a little bit about these radiation detectors going off in Norway and in Russia. And then it disappeared. The radiation talk disappeared off the screen, the anomaly screen. And then we hear about this thing here with the radiation, with this causing these waves. Some people are saying it's a UFO. I mean, the whole internet is blowing up about this thing, about it being a UFO. But the radiation part was the part I was interested in because yesterday I'm sitting there and it's a sunny, nice day at the beach, and I'm at lunch and I'm sitting in my car and I'm hanging my hand out the window. Okay. It's going on about 5 minutes, and all of a sudden, I noticed that my hand felt like it was, like, literally burning. You know, I had to pull it in. And then all of a sudden, I remembered that show we did, like, 3 years ago with Steve Poikonen about the leaves coming off the trees and, you know, so on and so forth, these trees. And what we, you know, had come up with, we determined, Epic Jeremy and I looked at it, and there was UVC, even though there's not supposed to be UVC coming in, there was, and there was a higher amount of it. And so I'm starting to wonder if the UVC situation that's happening right now is a little bit more intense than it has been recently, because, you know, we talked about David Dubine had talked about those penguins. Mm-hmm. And how this radiation, this UVC, causes a blindness in these penguins, causes them to die off. And so there was recently a giant die-off of penguins, and they were attributing this die-off with these penguins to bird flu. But I think it has more to do with what David Devine was talking about, and I think it has to do with the magnetic field and the sun. And I mean, you know, let's face it, that sun is not normal. It's like Dr. Rose says, I'm from the land of the yellow sun. You know, I remember what it was like. It's white, dude. I mean, how much whiter can it get before it just literally just blows? I mean, or how is it just putting out some massive amounts of energy that are just coming through our weak-ass magnetic field? You know?
Mm-hmm.
What was that movie? What was that dystopian, futuristic movie? And everyone was blind. What was it? Was that I think that had Denzel Washington in it, where everybody was blind. You know? I mean, imagine if you're just sitting there and you know, it's normal. Normal day. You're kicking it, having an espresso. You know, sitting at the cafe, you know, reading your paper, looking at your phone or whatever, and all of a sudden the sun just goes, and everybody's, you know, who was outside at that time is blind. You know what I mean? No protection for it. I mean, if you're not wearing polarized sunglasses at this point, you have literally lost your mind. Your eyes will be gone. Have you noticed a lot of people having eye problems?
Well, you know, I have noticed that, and I've also noticed that even when you go outside, right, it feels like you're getting sunburned faster. Even with the cloud cover, like you feel like the radiation, right, the level is up. I've noticed that too. It's a little weird. So maybe something's going on, man. Something's up with that.
When I was in junior high and high school, and we used to lay in the sun, we used to literally, everybody, not just me, I wasn't the only one doing it. Literally everybody was doing it. They put baby oil all over themselves and just lay there in the sun. You know, you get a little sunburn and then you turn brown and you're all, you know, healthy looking and, you know, so on and so forth. I don't know if I'd chance it now. I would definitely, if you're gonna lay in the sun, I would get out of the sun before midday, for sure, because that's when my hand was hanging out my window, and I'm telling you right now, it literally was burning my hand. And then when I noticed it, I pulled my hand back into the car, but I still had I was still sitting there, and the sun was now beating down on the leg of my jeans, which happened to be flannel lined, and I could feel that sun burning on my leg at that point. I had to roll my window up because I got the tint to block out. But I mean, it's just blocking the burning. You know, the UVC is still there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sitting to microcosmrevolution.radio, fully listener supported. Come on down, become a supporter. They're doing some retrograding, and I mean, around here. I mean, not retrograding, but retrofitting. I still have the retrograde on my mind, you know, because of these tech issues that have been going on. Like, we made it by the skin of our chinny chin chin in here tonight, because I'm telling you right now, the internet's acting weird. Can't control it.
There has been, I don't remember if it was solar flare or, and of course there is increased sunspot activity right now too. There's two big sunspots that are facing us directly. But I did see something on, there was a little bit of interference going on in the radio world because of the sunspots and the solar flare. They're minor, you know, it's not enough to knock everything out, but it is enough to cause some disruptions in some places, especially like terrestrial AM radio and, you know, the amateur bands and stuff like that.
Man, I'll tell you what, I used to just sit around and scour the earth for this shit. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, when Kev was still alive and I was on the Kev Baker show regularly, and, you know, we were doing our thing and everything, and that's what I was doing for a full-time job. I mean, I was doing radio, I was doing the show, you know, we had the Aftermath thing or whatever. I mean, that was my thing. That was what I was doing. Plus, I was a contractor, so I could do my work, and then come back and do my thing. But still, in all, I would scour the earth for this shit because we were doing shows. And the thing is that I don't really do that anymore because I'm not you know, I've reached a point, I guess about a year ago, where for me, I had already come to my own decision, you know, and people like to categorize that as being black pilled or whatever. At some point, somebody came up with black pill, which is a way of calling conspiracy theorists something else. You know, in the conspiracy community, they had to, you know, conspiracy theorists is for the mainstream. You needed something to shame people who can see a situation and act accordingly, call them black pilled.
Right.
So, so the thing is and the point is that at some point, for your own sanity, you got to come to the realization that the research is in, man. You don't need to do any more research because it's in. You know? What you got to do now is figure out what you're going to do from now on. You know? And so, like, lots of people back in 2019, people had an idea what they were going to do in the future, man. Where they're going to go. You know, I'm going to go on this vacation. You know, I'm going to go this, here, do that, blah, blah, blah. You know, and everybody's whole situation got spun down to nothing. To a point where most people at this point were so trained over that period of time to become inward and stay home that people don't even really go out anymore. I mean, people are definitely not out buying shit at the mall. That's for sure. There's nobody in these malls and these restaurants. At this point, man, it's $30 for a pizza, dude. You know what I mean? How much eating out are you going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just serious. How long can a restaurant... The thing is, look, and if you're not...
Well, you know, even going to the supermarket, you know, like, I was there a couple days ago, and I bought... I would say I got 2 bags of stuff, and I should have had 3 bags, but I managed to jam all the food into 2 bags on the way out. It's right at the top, overflowing 2 bags, right? But it's $250, man. That's that same amount of food, you know, a year ago would cost me, you know, $100, maybe $120.
Dude,
it's ridiculous. And you know, I kind of eat the same things all the time, so you know, I vary it a little bit. But when I go to the store, you know, it used to be generally $100, 120, maybe even pushing it would be 150. I could not believe that I stuffed $250 worth of groceries into 2 bags.
No, I was talking today with a dude at work, okay? And see, here in California, and I don't know if you have them everywhere in the world and around the world and coast to coast, but here, especially in California, they have these taco trucks. And this is way before these food truck fad. These were just piece of junk taco trucks. These were like old catering trucks that they made into a taco truck. And you used to go buy these tacos, dude. I shit you not. They were 25 cents a piece. They were on these little tiny tacos. You know, a little tortilla about this big with some meat and this and that. But I'm just saying, for $2 you could go there. And it's where a lot of working Mexican people went to eat. Because you could afford it. It was good. It was quick. It was there. Boom. And then all of a sudden, it's like everybody else found out about it. And now, all of a sudden, the price started going up. It was like I said, it was 25 cents. Then it was 50 cents. Then it was $1, man. And even at $1, for $5, you got a plate of 5 of these tacos, man. You'd be living for the rest of the day happy as a mother. You know what I mean?
And you know, tell you what, man, them taco truck tacos are the best things you'll get.
That's what I mean.
They're like $1.50 for a taco. You know?
Still over there?
Well, down in Texas, yeah.
Oh, well, let me just say here, man.
You know, well, I'll tell you what. The little Mexican lady in the back of the taco truck is still taking care of the people who buy her tacos. You know.
Well, see, listen, the food of the working people that used to be inexpensive is all of a sudden super expensive. So, I don't know how restaurants are going to stay alive, honestly. I mean, I see chains folding up, this and that. So the thing is, what I'm trying to drive at is, where are we going? What are people doing? Are people planning for the future? I mean, are you planning for the future, or are you just living day to day, just waiting for the fucking shoe to drop? Excuse my F.
Well, a little bit of both, actually.
That's what I mean. I mean, doesn't that cause the cortisol in your body? Doesn't it cause all these mechanisms in your body to produce chemicals when you're on a constant fight or flight situation? It's cause your adrenals to break down for you to get all sickly and tired all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, too much stress is definitely not good for you in many respects, right? Cortisol and chemicals in your brain that cause depression and all sorts of other things. I kind of look at it like this. I kind of know how this is going and where it ends and all that, so I'm not particularly worried about it. Am I somewhat prepared? Yes.
Dude, I ain't talking.
If necessary, if the power goes out, I got more than a day's worth of food in the house.
I ain't talking about being worried. I ain't talking about being worried. I'm talking about wistful dreams of the future, of the shit that people used to think about doing, going here, going there. I'm on vacation. I'm living my life. I'm going through the world. Because listen, when I'm driving down the street and I'm sitting at a stoplight and looking around at everybody sitting there, those people are not wondering about anything. They're going to and from work. They're picking up the kids. They're putting gas in the car. They're buying groceries.
Yeah, I mean, I have not changed my normal life. I'm not stressing out about it.
No, I'm saying,
if it does hit the fan, I'm kind of ready.
Okay, but I ain't talking.
I'm not like a serious prepper, but I'm kind of ready. I'm good.
That's not what I'm talking about.
But
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you telling me something good, that you in this moment are sitting at your house, and even though you're aware of the news that's going on, you're not stressing about it because you have this dream of someday something that you're going to do in the future. Do you still have a future dream? Is there any future dreams left in America? And I'm starting with you, Rock and Rio.
Starting with me? Well, my stuff is going as planned at the moment. So,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not particularly worried. No.
Okay, so
everything I'm doing is on course for being normal for as long as it can be normal for.
All right. So people whose lives are going good don't go to psychics.
Well, yeah, I don't do that anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So what would be the reason if everything's for you in your life is going as planned, and things are looking good? Now look, a new car's coming in. You brought it to the table. You brought the business in. I mean, your boss should buy you a pastrami sandwich, down there with rye, or whatever. So, I don't know, Rock and Rio. The future could be bright, and maybe all this. I mean, do you need to scour the earth to look for bad shit? Because I mean, if stuff's going good in your life, why disturb it with some bad shit? Why don't you just continue on with the positivity, I don't, things since I've known you, bro, I don't think you've ever gone on vacation. I mean, I know you've gone, you've gone to Texas, but that ain't vacation really. I mean, I'm saying,
I've gone to, we've taken some family trips to, the Disney Dungeon once in a while and stuff like that. I mean, I've done vacation in that respect, but in some respects I don't even really consider that vacation.
See, now in the alternative media, they'll take Disney away from you too, because you got to look at if you look at everything through the alternative eye or whatever, then everything is sinister and bad, because you can't look at Disney without knowing all the stuff that you know about it. So then anytime you say, look at, dude, I mean, we've been around this alternative media. Listen, hang on a second. Listen, we've been around this alternative media for so long that I remember you used to not even be able to say you had a cell phone without people getting weird about it. And if you said you had one, you had to say, well, I like flip phones. I'm not going to get that smartphone or whatever. And all this shit. I don't want a smartphone. I got a flip phone or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you were rejecting the technology. They're all full of shit. Listen.
I've had one for a long time, but I still hate it.
I know, but I'm just saying they were all full of, I mean, you couldn't, I mean, Alex Jones used to pretend that he never watched TV except for when he was at the gym on the Stairmaster and he couldn't help it and CNN was on. Why don't you just say you're watching CNN? Why do you got to say, well, I was monitoring the situation, like he's doing it because he's because
he has to, right?
You're doing it because that's what people do in the world, dude. They watch the news. They go to work, they buy gas, they go to the grocery store.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't watch a lot of TV myself, but last night I sat down and watched a couple episodes of South Park just because that's what I felt like doing.
There you go. Why not?
I didn't want to get on the computer and I wasn't interested in playing games. I just wanted to eat my dinner and chill out on the couch. So, I watched a little, I don't watch a ton of stuff, but South Park was on. I was like, all right, this is cool.
Well, I don't know. I think, just given this...
I vegged out and fell asleep. That was it.
Just given the current situation, I think everybody deserves to take a break,
I do, too.
Take a break today. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll do that tonight here. We're going to bring our buddy... Is S90 checked in with you over there?
Yeah, he's... I believe he's connected to the call here.
Oh, he's on the call. S90, are you there?
I am here. How are you, gentlemen?
We're doing good. How about you? Now, so S90, now we're asking the question tonight. Now, 2019 was a dream killer for a lot of people in a lot of ways. I mean, lots of people lost family members, they lost significant others. The things that may have happened during that time period may have caused situations to make dreams that were people had evaporate. But then there's the other part of it where you seem, and not you, but in general, people seem uncertain. People seem like they can't make plans for the future. They're almost surviving on a day-to-day basis, which is basically all we really have anyway. But I'm just saying, it wasn't like that before. There was some sort of American dream where you're going to own a house and so on and so forth, go on a vacation, get a good job, find a good, significant other. S90, do you still have dreams for the future, or were they squashed by the 2019 situation?
That's a good question. No, yeah, I still have things that I'd like to do if everything goes smoothly with the world, but it's almost like dreaming isn't practical at this point. We live in a world where there's a whole lot of things that can go wrong that look like they're going to go, and there's a whole lot of fear and all that. And, time spent, I guess, dreaming is time spent not preparing, really. And it depends, I guess, on how likely you think something is going to happen. Honestly, I feel like whatever happens either way, you're there, you're going to have to react. You can't just say, oh, this isn't the outcome I wanted, and just sit down. So, I don't know. I think everyone would rise to the occasion, given whatever happens to them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard to paint a pretty picture for yourself. Most of us and most humans, we got to dangle a pretty carrot for ourselves to make us muck through the day-to-day mundanity of the shit that goes on. And then we have to hold out in the future, just like heaven above, when we're dead. We have to hold out this pretty carrot for ourselves so that we can continue to find a way to muck through it. Because, I mean, at some moment when you sit down and realize you're in a movie set and the whole thing's a facade, and, that starts to cause a problem for that idea. So the thing is what do you do when you realize that the American dream was a bunch of smoke up your ass, and you were only here to provide labor and tax revenue to a bunch of people to do things you weren't interested in having done? Then what? So how do you dream from there? What do you do? Is that the point where you go, you know what I'm gonna do, honey? Let's become preppers. Let's buy a piece of land and, you know, go out and live, you know, off grid in a tiny home. You know, I mean, it sounds good. I mean, it sounds good. Why not? I mean, I'd love to do something like that. Just have a small home and, you know, I mean, if I was gonna say, hey, you guys are asking me my dream, that would be kind of dreamy. You know, have a nice place all paid for with a little, you know, greenhouse, and, you know, have it all squared away, your eggs and eating your shit that you grew. And I mean, it sounds like a beautiful dream, doesn't it? I mean, but I mean, what's the reality of that? I mean, you can go watch a video right now. You can go to YouTube. You can have whatever dream it is. You can go to YouTube right now. Someone else had that same dream, and they created a channel around it. And they go through these periods of time where they go through this whole thing where you're watching the whole thing happen. And at the end, it's like, you know, why I chose to not live in a tiny home, or why I quit living van life, or whatever. You know, I mean, honestly, like 5 years ago, I almost got sucked into that van life thing. I was gonna buy a van and deck it out and just go boondocking around, just traveling around. I mean, that's the kind of shit I used to do before 2019, right, Rhea? I mean, I just decided to move to Colorado, right? And I was gone, just like quick. But it's not like that anymore, man. For me, I mean, I'm in a situation now where, you know, like I say, I'm living day to day, and I have plans for the future, and I live every day with the hopes that that's going to happen, you know, but I don't feel solid about it like I used to, you know. I used to feel like, yeah, someday I'll go visit Bruce in Costa Rica, you know, and then I'll go somewhere else, and, you know, at some point I'll be done, I'll put my tools down, and but doesn't look like I'm going to be putting my tools down anytime soon, Jack. Now with tacos that used to be 50 cents or $5. You know? So, but if we don't create something like that for ourselves, is it possible to even trudge through this race to the bottom, the sea of mediocrity? Doesn't it seem like it's a race to the bottom at this point?
Well, for most people, but I was going to say that I think the most successful people kind of merge, like almost like Bruce, like they merge their prepping and their, they almost make, they find a way to make money off their prepping, right? Like, I don't know, maybe you design some really cool attachment for greenhouses that waters multiple levels of plants or whatever, you know, like you do that for yourself, for your prepping, but you're able to market that product or something. That'd be a good way to support yourself in that situation. I don't know, but I'm not like, I wish like literally there are people out there who make like the solar powered pet rock. It's a pet rock with a USB port and a little solar panel and all this stuff. I wish I was happy and simple enough to make something like that and just make my million that way. That'd be great. Well,
because the thing is because your life becomes serious when you get into this information. Because I remember personally, in my journey, I remember there was a period of time where I was like, why would you watch that movie when you could watch a movie that teaches you about something? Like, what? Like, I used to be into movies, man. I mean, I moved to LA to be in the movie business. I was into nothing but movies. I was cinematic, man. I'm telling you right now. And there just came a point in time, you know, when CGI started to become prevalent everywhere, was really when I literally quit going to the movie theater then. I haven't been to the movie theater in probably 20 years, man. Literally. And, you know, the thing about it is, too, is it's inversely proportional, too, because the older movies didn't have to rely on technology to portray the story. So even though it was just some cardboard set behind them. What was important was the people taking the words on a paper and bringing them to life with their ability as actors, dancers, and singers. To bring that, their talent had to make the story alive, not the inanimate objects and the shit in the background. But now where we are now is you don't have to have that kind of talent to be a movie star, because now you can hang in a vest off some wires on a green screen with shit blowing up behind you. You don't have to make people believe that it's really, that things are blowing up behind you, because people can see it with their own two eyes now. So you don't have to do anything except look good while you're doing it. Basically like a lip syncer, almost. You know, acting at this point has become lip syncing with the right face, no? Because, I mean, look back. I mean, go look. And you know what? The older the movie is, the more intense the actors are that are in it. In every single character. Like, in order for that guy to be wiping your windshield at the gas station when you pulled in, when the main character pulled in, some dude walked up and said, "Hey, sir, you know, what can I do for you?" Even that guy. You know, even he was good. But, I don't know. We're in a topsy-turvy world. It's almost like it's 180 degrees out. And I mean, it seems that way in a lot of respects. We're 180 degrees out the way from the way it should be.
I have a pretty good idea who could be behind that, but that's just my personal opinion. Rio might agree there. I don't know.
A who? Like a who can be behind it?
Oh, I don't know. You know.
There
It just seems like it's not just, you know, the evil of the people behind all this. It seems like everything's all messed up all at the same time. You know, money, health, education. Just everything's just, like you said, 180 degrees. You know?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. The world is a different place now. It really is. It's evolving into a strange place, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. At least from my perspective. I think it's getting weirder. I think people's behavior is getting weirder. And you know, I don't understand what's wrong with people anymore. I really don't. You know, maybe it's just me turning into the grumpy old man. You know, these kids today. But
well, where can you go? Is there some place left on Earth where you can go be a grumpy old man and not have anybody bother you?
The nursing home.
Yeah, I'm sitting there right now.
In the privacy and sanctity of your own home is what I was saying earlier, where everyone has now retreated there, and they don't need to go on vacation to Spain anymore because they can just look at Spain in 4K, where someone's just walking around there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would still take a vacation to Spain should the opportunity arise.
Well,
you know?
What's the opportunity is you go down there and say, "Hey, my name's Uncle Rio, and give me a ticket to Spain." That's it.
As of now, we're still allowed to, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. Exactly. I mean, there's people traveling. I know that. I mean, friends of my family, they've done nothing but travel since this whole thing started. They traveled through the whole thing. They're worldwide traveling through the whole thing.
I have not traveled worldwide in a while. Well, really since the band thing, but
let me point this out. Let me point this out too. This is a random sampling of population. So one person out of how many billion in the world, who I personally know, who traveled during the Michelle Pfeiffer incident. And this person was Michelle Pfeiffered, I shit you not, like 15 times. Because,
what?
Yeah, no, and it wasn't just Michelle Pfeiffered 15 times for the Michelle Pfeiffer, not for traveling worldwide.
Yeah, because, I mean, some places require you to have other stuff when you go.
Exactly. And the reason I'm telling you this is, guess what? There's nothing wrong with her. Her health's not bad, and there's nothing wrong with her. She's still traveling. She's riding bikes all over the place. So I'm just saying it's a random sampling. It's just somebody. It's a story from the...
Well, somebody who went that many times got real lucky.
That's what I'm saying. There's no amount of luck.
It's like a 1 in 4 chance.
No, and even with all
15 times over is not a good probability.
I'm just saying.
Like there's
I'm
nowhere
saying,
I want
I'll
to go
tell
in
you
the
something. Here, let me finish. Let me tell you one more thing.
Sorry.
Just in the same subject, and then we can get off of it real quick before we get dangerous. But listen, another example of random sampling. My mom's best friend works for the VA hospital, so they got a test and this and that. So she was Michelle Pfeiffer, so she had to go home. And they remdesivired her. And before they were going to do it, I went and said all this... I went and told my family all this shit about it. Right? I mockingbird the shit that I heard other people saying about it. About what happens. As soon as they give it to you, this happens, and then you go on a respirator, and then you're dead. Right? Well... She's not dead or anything. I mean, she got better and went back to work. So, I mean, at this point, it's hard to know what to believe, really. It's hard to know how much of this shit makes any sense at all. If it's just all random samplings of 7 billion people, then I guess you could stack things to look a certain way.
Well, that particular product is known to have some pretty harsh side effects.
Yeah,
so.
and I'm not saying that it doesn't either, and I'm not trying to infer anything, but what I'm also saying, and the reason I'm saying it is because there's lots of people out there that had to, and there's lots of people that are out there that had to, that listen to the alternative media and may have fear and think that they're going to die and all this really messed up stuff's going to happen to them. And I'm just saying, here's a couple of people that it didn't happen to, so don't waste...
Yeah, you never know. I mean, everybody reacts different.
That's what I'm saying. Don't go off...
Some people could, get poisoned and just get over it.
Don't go off the deep end, ladies and gentlemen. If you had to, to keep your job, you had to do something, and don't necessarily think it's over. That's, when I got
don't take the doom and gloom aspect of it too serious of a level. If you're still kicking, you're still kicking.
Yeah, when I got diagnosed with cancer, I had this young doctor, when they did the biopsy on the thing, and he said to me, he looked at me, he goes, "Hey man, it's not a death sentence." So, I hear some noise. What is that noise? Sounds like somebody's chewing a potato chip or something. Anyway.
It sounded like a keyboard to me.
Anyways, listen, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I brought those two examples up is because it's not necessarily what you think it is, and so you may be biased, and you may be biased in what you think, or you may cause yourself harm, and so maybe think, don't necessarily think it's that bad. It might not be.
I'll put money on that bloop being the hijacker.
I don't know what it was. I can't tell, but we do only have 2 minutes before we got to bone out of here. So we're having a casual night here tonight in the microcosm. We've all taken a beating all week long. We want to rest tonight. We're not going to grind axes necessarily unless something comes up. I don't have any specific anything on the chopping block. I know S90 has a little bit of something. So when we come back, we'll find out what S90's been up to. It's revolution.radio. Fully listener supported, so come on down, become the supporter. Because like I said, we're looking the kitty's looking a little low, looking a little short, and when you got a short kitty, you got to put some cream in the bowl to keep the kitty alive. You know what I'm saying, Real?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, listen.
And don't give that cat no skim milk either. Give no real cream.
That's right. The half and half stuff. The real. Well, I guess half and half isn't real. It's half real.
It's half real.
It's not half and half. It's real. All right. Well, listen. I'm gonna be right back. Sitting in the microcosm. Friday night coming up.
Among the mental ones, a messenger will soon arrive. 1-0-0-0-1-1, 1-0-1-0-1. Periodic table with a centerpiece of mind. 1-0-0-0-1-1, 1-0-1-0-1. Periodic table with a centerpiece of mind. Man alive, the jiving lyrics. Radioactive, don't come near it. Temple of Syrinx having the big sale of the year. Man alive, the jiving lyrics. Radioactive, don't come near it. Temple of Syrinx having the big sale of the year. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Listen to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. We'll be right back after this message.
Hey everyone, it's Barbara Jean Lindsay, the Cosmic Oracle. If you have questions about your past lives or future plans, need answers from the cosmos about your love life or career, or just want to keep your finger on the pulse of the planet, check out my show, The Cosmic Oracle, here on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com.
Did you ever feel that things were not quite right? That everything was just ever so slightly askew?
Do you have, to paraphrase Morpheus, a splinter in your mind?
If you're interested in hearing the latest information about UFOs, the paranormal,
ancient cultures and structures,
monatomic elements,
longevity,
fantastic discoveries in science,
downloaded to your brain,
then tune into us. Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mackie.
And we are Shiny Side Out, Sundays 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern. See you then.
Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
The Secret Kindergarten is here for the young children of the world. The best program on the radio for kids. Dealing with the most important topics in the whole universe. Fairy tales, music and movement, numbers, plants, animals, fun, colors, insects. Take care and cast your ears out to catch a story from the world of other young things. Reach out, up, under, and over. Sing a song. Talk about feelings. Just remember the magic word. The magic word is no! Step on into the Secret Kindergarten. Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Right here on Revolution Radio.
Check in every Thursday night for the Crypt Rick and Jonathan Show. Studio A, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here at the #1 listener-supported radio station, Revolution Radio.
Join me at Revolution Radio, Studio B, at 11 a.m. on Saturday for Free Association, when we take a look at philosophy, spirituality, psychology, social issues, and geopolitics. It's every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on Studio B at freedomslips.com.
I want to thank everybody for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the one place where information never sleeps. Revolution Radio.
All right, let's show them what we got now.
All right, thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And yeah, we're going to get back to your host.
It's Friday night, hour number 2. It's Revolution Radio. It's the independent broadcast network. Mine's Jimmy. Into the microcosm. It's back on the air.
Gathering embers, you wade through the twilight, waiting for the morning to come. Shepherding banshees, you pine for the eye of the storm.
We're in the eye of the storm, ladies and gentlemen. Who knows what tomorrow holds? All we know is we got right now. And right now, King Buffalo, Eye of the Storm.
Levying the lightning, you burn for the eye of the storm.
Well, so I'm sitting here with Rockin' Rio and S90 and about 66 other people over in the chat room in the microcosm with Jimmy Jean on YouTube. And we're not broadcasting live on freeworld.fm tonight for some reason. But it doesn't really matter. What does matter is you're here, and we appreciate you very much for being here, because there's a lot of places you can spend your time, and we appreciate you spending it with us. And like I was saying, you're the eye of the storm here. We were talking about the dreams people used to have back before the 2019 debacle. So we were looking forward to having a few things going on for ourselves, you know. I don't know, whatever it is, sitting under a palm tree, you know, with your $300 sunglasses and a boat drink, toasting your friends, saying, "Look at, man, we made it, bro." You know, think of all the shit we've been through. Look at us. We're here having a drink together tonight on Into the Microcosm Revolution.radio, fully listener supported. Come on down. Throw down in the guitar case. It's propped up over there. Patreon, cryptocurrencies, Zazzle stores, whatever you do, just do what you do and make it happen, Captain. Did I ever tell you that story about make it happen, Captain? Rio?
Maybe.
No, so maybe I'll tell that story later on tonight. It's a reason to stay tuned. But we're also here with S90, and S90, Rockin' Rio and I, we just came in tonight. We're casual. We didn't bring any weapons, you know. We didn't come in our fast cars. We just walked tonight, and we're not, like I said, we're ready to grind an axe if one comes up. But now you've been out rattling the bushes. I know you leave no stone unturned, and that's one of the things we love about you. But you know, it's not the only thing. But so what's been on now? You were getting into something the other night, and you said it might be a better idea to expound more in depth on Friday night. Are you ready to then expand and let us know exactly what it is you're talking about?
Yeah, but I have no idea what it was in relation to anymore. I've looked at a lot of things since then.
Do you live in Canada?
I do.
Do you smoke weed?
I do.
Okay, so now, do you have
sometimes.
short-term memory loss? Because
I do.
they say that happens to people that smoke weed, that they can't.
Oh yeah,
you know.
no. There's plenty of downsides to it. That they won't. They were trying to market it to everybody in the 2000s or whatever, so they made all those documentaries, the funny ones. Tee-hee, oh, this guy eats McDonald's and smokes a bunch. And they tried to market it to people. Certain people got elected on the platform of allowing everyone to have it. And what happens when government controls something? It's usually not in the best interests of the normal people. So,
I just wanna take off and fly away from all of this noise, man. Seriously, I mean, more and more. I mean, Rock and Rio. When was the first coming out of the rabbit hole show we did? That was got to be like 6 or 7 years ago, right?
At least, yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is like it's dark and stinky in the rabbit hole, dude. You know what I mean? At some point, when everything becomes, suspect. In other words, if my air is poisoned, my water's poisoned, I can't go to the doctors, I can't watch a movie, I can't listen to music, I can't, every single thing I can't do because somehow it's associated with a filter bubble that says that, there's some background information that proves that the thing that you're really listening, the music you're listening to isn't that, it's the guy behind the music and what he did and all the shit he does. And if you listen to that music, well, then you're associated with everything he does, so you can't listen to that song. This kind of shit. You can't go to the movies, you can't watch TV, you can't go to the doctors, and on and on and on and on. It's like, well, if that was the case, and if that's true, and if everybody lived 100% by that in the alternative media, it's complete bullshit. It's utter, complete, total nonsense. And then to have people sit
virtue
there,
signaling.
But I know, and to have people sit there convincing people that are having issues with their health and scaring the shit out of them to make them afraid to go to the doctor. You know what I mean? What do you do when you got a health problem all of a sudden? Now what? Now what? Have you been terrified for the last 3 years at the point where you won't even go to the doctor? You just stay at home and just die from some simple shit? It was an appendicitis or whatever. You're just going to die in your house. I don't know, man.
I mean, I'd rather that than trust them anymore.
I mean, it's to that point. Now, did you see this Japanese university official to come out and start talking about the Michelle Pfeiffer? Did you see the statement that was made last week?
I didn't, no.
You guys should take a look at it. I'm not going to talk about it now because it's only going to draw us into a conversation about Michelle Pfeiffer, which I can't do. We can't do here now. So, but you guys...
She's bad for the show.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody should take a look at it. Just type in Japanese Prime Minister. I think he's the emeritus of the university. I can't think of the university. I can look it up though if you guys want to jump in here. I
can throw it in chat when I find it here.
Yeah, you can take a look for it. So, Rock and Rio, you want to open up these phones and see if people are still dreaming? Because it makes me wonder. Because like I say, I live in a place that people come to because they want to have fun. People come to the beach and, they come here from other places. They come here from around the world. And the people that I see, they don't seem stressed out about the same shit that the people in the alternative media are stressed out about. And I understand that. But then on one side of the line, they call them the sheeps. And they call them the fools and the this and the that's. But on the other side of the line, they're not even aware of the people over there calling them sheeps and fools. And they're living their lives having fun. Going to the beach, or going surfing, riding motorcycle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you can't be, like we had the eclipse last week, you can't be eclipsed by this information. You got to take this shit with a grain of salt. If you can't take this information with a grain of salt, there's only one place you're going to end up, and that's in the, in the hospital. Because you're either going to get sick internally, or you're going to sicken yourself mentally and emotionally. Because there's no way you can survive a barrage of this type of news 24 hours a day. Obsessing over it, scouring the earth for it, looking for it. You know what I mean? When's it bad enough? I mean, you know what I mean? When do you put it down? You know what I mean?
That's true.
I mean, I'm just saying, when, at what point that you're reading the newspaper, you're scouring the earth looking for some shit, at what point do you read some article and decide, okay, it's time to turn off my computer now? You know what I mean? I mean, when is it going to be bad enough? I mean, when is the research going to be in, and then you turn everything is, you know what? The one thing everyone learned about 9/11 when they hear inside job. Alex Jones was yelling outside of Geraldo Rivera's TV show, 9/11 was an inside job. You should see that video and how ridiculous Alex Jones looks when he's doing it. But the point is
ridiculous most of the time.
The point is, though, no, he's in the stratosphere beyond where he was then. I mean, he's gone he's suing the CIA, the FBI right now for some he says he's gonna. But anyways,
there's no way.
Listen to me. The point is inside job, because that is exactly and 100% right. It is an inside job on you. Because the only piece of this universe you have control over is yourself. The only way the world's going to change is when you change the world for yourself. The world could be a shithole about to blow up in Armageddon, or it could be a wonderful place where the flowers are growing, the bees are there, the birds are singing, so on and so forth. Maybe you see less birds, or you want to see all the birds that drop dead because they got hit with a beam from a 5G tower. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Either way you look at it, it doesn't matter what side of that line you're standing on. From either side, both of you look stupid and ridiculous. Because you wasted the minute that you had on this earth burying yourself in the dirt, taking a dirt nap, and you're not even dead yet. Get up, man. Get out. Breathe air in and out. Drink water. Nourish yourself. Have fun. Go read to an old lady. Go adopt a dog. There's so much shit going on, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm to the point where, I don't want to continue being an echo chamber in the mockingbird cage or whatever for the bad news. You know what I mean? It's hard to come with the bad news all the time. You know what I mean? That's why that's why the dude in the Matrix said, "Yeah, I know this steak's not real." But I'd rather I'd rather think I'm eating this steak than eat the gray slop. That's the reality of where we are.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Creative person. What would be the internal combustion inside of a creative person right now? An artist, a painter, a musician. What kind of music would be coming out of somebody? What kind of music used to come out of people when they wrote a song? It was a beautiful song. It was harmonious and beautiful. Okay? Now it's staccato. It's not harmonious. Matter of fact, I mean, I don't know. That's the, maybe that's the thing, Everybody's got their own drummer. Everybody's dancing to their own beat. And we're not all marching to the same drummer anymore. Trying to go to the same place. Everybody's going, can you have a room full of managers?
Well, you can,
if everybody in the room, if there's 30 managers in the room, there's 30 people in the room and 30 of them are managers, all at the same level. How would anything ever get done? and just 30 different ideas of how things should be.
Well, that's called design by committee, and that's why video games and movies suck now, because you need to appease all 100 people in the boardroom, and everyone wants to include a feature and a character and blah, 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 and so then you get this mishmash with no vision, right? That's what we have now.
That's an interesting thought. And it's true, though. You know, you try to please too many people, you please no one.
That's an inside job. Why do you think they say if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else? If you don't love yourself, how can you love someone else? If you don't know how to love yourself, how can you know how to love somebody else? You know, if you don't know how to treat yourself, how can you treat somebody else? You know? You can't live.
The dank weed tonight.
No, I'm just saying you can't live by the golden rule if you don't even know how to treat yourself.
No, I agree, and you treat others how you treat yourself.
That's what I'm saying. And that happens
it's a reflection.
Right, and not only that, but it happens in a way that comes out in projection, where someone projects how they feel on you. They say you do this or you feel like that, but that's how they feel. That's exactly the political conundrum that's used in politics in America today, and the Democratic Party are kings of using projection. They project onto you exactly what they're doing to you. They just say you're doing it, and then they all come at you, and they all got evidence saying that you're the one that did it, even though they're the ones that did it. You know, projection. So, anyways, 718-618-9905. Give us a call. Do your dreams still exist after 2019? 718-618-9905. Give us a call. I'm hearing some Skype rattlings over there, man. There's something going.
I don't know who that was.
Me neither. Oh no. So why don't you guys jump in there? What's going on now? What are you thinking now? It's an inside job, and you know you can change the world because you're responsible on it, right? Responsible for your world. So all you got to do is change yourself, and then your world automatically starts changing. It doesn't. Man, it's like machine gun up in here.
Maybe somebody's trying to shortcut the call in, man.
I just can't get over there because I can't talk and manage the Skype hole at the same time. So one of them has to end. So either I'll stop talking and go look at Skype, and you can jump in. And how's that sound?
Yeah, we could do that.
All right.
We could do that. But I don't know. I think we've reached this point now where it's there's just so much stuff on the plate that it's not even like worth looking at half of it anymore. You know, it's getting to the point where it's mind. Like, what more is there to really discuss about it other than it's, this happened this week and it was just another setup and plan.
Yeah. I was going to say that earlier. In like 2005, when Alex Jones was first, starting to make his documentaries and stuff, it was kind of rare to come across big documentaries like that were enjoyable and long form and had lots of info. Now they're a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. I can't sit through another documentary about Atlantis or comets or aliens. It's so boring and passe. I want Hollywood to make things that are good to watch, like Dune 2 and stuff, because I want to be entertained and not have to care about this stuff. But even then, it's like when you're watching Dune, you see the space Jesuits, and you see all the spices, oil basically, and whatnot, all the allegories that you know are there. So can you even really enjoy it anymore without literally having to go to Agent Smith and be like, yo, put me back in the Matrix? Yeah, and I don't want to do that either, right? I just want a little bit of entertainment once in a while, but now everything's saturated with conspiracy. You can't go 5 feet without seeing it anywhere.
Well, it's not even saturated with conspiracy. It's like saturated with agenda, right? You have the DEI stuff, the race swapping, the sex swapping, the woke culture. I mean, Just look at how badly Disney ruined Star Wars with that stuff.
Listen, I literally heard some dude. I heard some dude. Listen, I heard some dude on a radio show, and I listen to their show pretty regularly. I won't mention the guy's name, but I had some dude on there. Heard him say that these Boeing plane crashes that are going on. He literally inferred that the reason that these plane crashes were happening was because there was a hiring process at the airline now, and they had to hire people that weren't sure if they were men or women. Now, man, I mean, that's going a little too far. That's bullshit, man, to say that. Saying that they don't care when they're tightening the bolts and they're working on the aircraft and all this shit. I mean, come on, man.
Into superstitions, black cats and voodoo dolls. I feel a premonition, that girl's gonna make me fall. She's into new sensations, new kicks in the candlelight. She's got new addictions for every day and night. She'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. She'll make you live a crazy life, or she'll take away your pain like a bullet to your brain. Upside, inside out, she's living la vida loca.
It's the Puerto Rican.
Speaking of people who don't know if they're man or woman,
it's the Puerto Rican hurricane. Billy White Shoes Valentine. What's happening?
What's going on? How are you?
I didn't know that was you before. I thought I was being controversial and I was getting messages from the hijacker.
It's me.
No, I didn't know. So what are you thinking, man? Do you got dreams, bro, for the future now?
I'm thinking I heard what Rio had to say. He's really bold over there for a guy that never comes into New York City. But I'm going to let it slide, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm smart enough to not wade in the muck, so.
Ooh.
You couldn't survive in the muck.
Damn.
It's a very different thing. It's about being smart.
The hurricane is coming out swinging, man. The hurricane.
I'm telling you.
We should be selling seats.
He must have got pissed.
See everybody, get to hear everybody. Yeah,
he must have got some new shoes this week.
Hey, speaking
I did get some new shoes, man.
Did you? Listen,
I knew it.
Speaking of new shoes.
What's up?
Your new dude over at the network made some rearrangements on our showtime.
Oof, sorry about that.
Yeah, well,
we'll get it straightened out.
Well, you're not.
I fixed it already.
He fixed it already, but it's not fixed, Rio, because I still can't connect. So this show's not going out over the air over there.
Well, I've got us connected. We're broadcasting live.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad, Rio. I appreciate that, man. And Billy, I called you and left you a message about it earlier. And I know it's not your problem, I know you put Free World together. I know you don't call the owner of ABC unless you're in the elite and go, hey man, I'm having problems with I can't watch my TV. So sorry about that, Billy. I didn't mean to leave you a long, lengthy message about.
Oh no, man, I haven't even heard it, man. My apologies. You can leave me as many messages as you want, bro.
No, that's all right. I just see how it is. If I was calling you and it was just like I had one person to call and I called you.
Shit, it shouldn't be me.
I get voicemail.
And this goes for everybody.
I get
if you have one person to call.
I get voicemail.
Don't let it be me, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I may or may not pick up. Just cause.
So we can't use you on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
No, man, no, don't do it.
You remember that other show, The Millionaire, where it was in black and white, and this dude with a suitcase would just show up at people's houses, and he'd just go, your benefactor has left you $1 million. And this is back in the day too. Like I say, it's black and white. And these people just get $1 million. Remember that show?
Yeah.
That was a good show.
That's probably just the butler delivering the Rockefeller, heirs money.
See, you look at it. See, that's the thing. Where this is, you're our perfect example of what I was just recently talking about.
Jaded.
No, it's just you. The thing is you have the thing is you know it's gray slop. So, and the thing is, you're floating around in the dark, knowing the truth, eating the gray slop. But the thing is when I try to say it's a steak, you won't see it as a steak because you can only know that it's gray slop. You know, your days of thinking it was a steak are over.
Are over, right?
I know. So where's your joy, bro? S90, do you have joy?
Yeah, of course. Life's for living and for enjoying and stuff. And,
do you apply your
you know,
same? Do you apply your same research and sharpening of your blade on your religious beliefs? Do you look at those religious beliefs? And in other words, at some point, an Alex Jones listener has to take what he learns as an Alex Jones listener and then turn that skill on to Alex Jones. And once you do, then at that moment in time, you will come to a realization. So what I'm saying to you is, you have certain belief systems, and do you just believe them, or do you look into them and try to see if there's anything awry? Do you have the same filter bubble on something that you believe to be true as you do everything else?
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna. I don't look too deeply into it because part of believing is trusting as well. So I'm like, I've heard a lot of the crazy stuff. Like right now, I'm looking into Cliff High, who basically says that the God of the Bible is Elohim. He is an alien, and that the aliens are going to come back. Well, that's the same thing that that letter of the alphabet. So a lot of it is just garbage.
Cliff
It's
High,
not even worth consuming and not looking at.
Let me just say
like
this.
Zeitgeist.
Cliff High, he's been running an operation for a long time. And he and this other guy, George, used to have this thing where they would sell that web bot shit. It was like $795 for web bot. And they would do financial stuff because this George guy used to have a website called Urban Survival, and it was about financial.
Georgia.
Exactly.
URE.
Exactly. And so then, but then somehow, after the timeline zero shit came into effect, which was, there seemed to be a lot of the future predicting going on over there at the webbot that seemed to look just like timeline zero. And then when this thing happened, there was sort of an end to it. And then he was building a boat and he bought some Bitcoin back in the day when Bitcoin first started. And he made a bunch of money off that Bitcoin, man. But, I mean, as far as his ability to predict the future, I mean, he doesn't really have a very good track record, does he?
No.
So I don't know why.
Neither do a lot of these people. But
Well, I'm
they
just
still have
saying.
following somehow.
But if you don't have a good track record on that stuff, then why I mean, in other words, why? I'm not saying the guy's not smart. The guy is smart. The guy can look at shit and extrapolate and make suppositions based on limited information. But what does that mean? I mean, he doesn't have a. He can't sit there and go, I predicted it. I told you this. Look, I told you who's going to win the Kentucky Derby. Look, and they won. Look, I told you who's going to win the World Series. Look, they won. That's worth $795, man. You could probably get a whole bunch of people lining up with $795 if you had a track record like that, couldn't you? I don't know. There's nobody with a track record like that. We were talking about it the other night, and what we were saying was we were talking about these different people that have figured out ways to score on the internet. Like they got ways to score on stock markets. They got ways to score in Forex. They got ways to score in crypto. And, they show you how to do it. And what I was putting forward in the conversation I was having was, well, listen, if you were that good at doing it, wouldn't you be able to make so much money that you'd have so much money? The last thing you'd be thinking about doing is having a fucking YouTube channel making money off. You know how many people have to watch a video for you to actually make a living off ads on YouTube? I mean, why would you continually make video after video and sit there year after year with this shit if you were so good at it? Wouldn't you just...
Well, that's...
I'm saying, if you were so good at predicting the future, why would you be out here? Why would you be out here telling people about it? Why wouldn't you just predict the future for yourself, make a shitload of money, and I'm gone, man? Why would you be out here dicking around? That's what I.
That's the point.
Doesn't make sense.
There was a skit done about that where someone said it was they sign up for one of those channels that says like, I'll make you a millionaire. Sign up for my Superman, crash course in economics or whatever. And the first video that pops up, it's like, make yourself a channel just like mine and grift from people. And that was it. That was the whole thing that the guy got for the $1,000. That was the lesson.
Really? Well, that doesn't surprise me because there used to be a thing, but back in the day before the internet. They used to have this shit called newspapers. And in newspapers, in the back, they used to have these ads, and you'd go there and you'd read them. They didn't have pictures or videos or anything. You'd just read these ads. And you'd see these ads, and it would say, make thousands weekly stuffing envelopes. Mail $1 to such and such an address and find out how. And magically, all these dollars would come to your house, and you'd make thousands of dollars every week by putting that ad in the paper, because that's exactly what you'd do, is you'd send the guy back a letter saying, put an ad in the paper saying, make thousands stuffing envelopes weekly. So, it's, I don't know. Like we were saying, Billy, earlier. Billy, if your life was going really good, if your life was going just how you wanted it, you had just everything you needed, your family everything was cool, would you be going to a psychic?
Probably not. Maybe for fun. I don't know.
You wouldn't be going there to find out what's going to happen or what the future holds or this kind of shit.
I mean, I don't go to psychics now.
Well, I'm just saying, lots of people do, though, when things aren't going right for them, they want to go to a psychic to find out maybe when things are going to go right. Maybe there's going to be a turnaround, and things are going to go my way.
Yeah, you might have a point. Some people go for fun, right? They're walking around and there's the seer on the sidewalk that, you're on a date and you want her to read your palm.
That's a romantic comedy, bro.
Right, do all that.
But I'm just saying, in real life,
a lot of people just go because that they're something's up, right? They think their spouse is cheating on them or something.
Right? Exactly. Right. It's
so
just,
go check this out.
There's some reason you gotta know the unknown, because the known is not going on right for you. Because I'm just saying. If I was sitting on my 50-foot yacht on the back deck, on a chair, with a cold one in my hand, so I wouldn't be thinking about none of that. Would you?
I mean, it really
I wouldn't be going.
Too much,
I wouldn't be going, honey.
I really don't think about it now. Imagine if I had some money, bro.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I wouldn't be going, honey. Come on, let's go down to psychic. I'm wondering what's going to be happening. I'm wondering what I'm having for dinner tonight on my 50-foot yacht. No, I don't think you'd be worrying about that too much. Plus, when you're in those kind of 50-foot yacht positions, you kind of have a sniff on what's going on in the future. Like, for example, this week, silver boned up through $29, man. It almost made $30, Rock and Rio. Man. Now, how many times have people been telling you to buy metal? No one ever buys it. Just like they tell you to prep, and most people don't prep. Unless they just found out about this shit, and then they're just, when they heard about the eclipse and the end of the world, man, imagine the money that got made on storable food over this period of time leading up to that eclipse, man.
I'm sure there was a surge in profits.
Well, plus, you got to get rid of it. Again, coming into the end of the year, you got to get rid of that old stock, My Patriot Supply. They probably sold a shitload.
Folks.
So what do you think, Billy? Do you think has the alternative media in its current state, would you say it has reached its end? at this point.
I think the alternative media was dead a long time ago.
Me too, but I mean, at this point, has it reached a point where there's so much, just like S90 was saying a moment ago? He was saying he can't watch another video about this, or he can't see another video about that documentary about it. It's like he said when Alex Jones was first making documentaries, there were none. But now they're everywhere. It's like me. Listen, I play music on my YouTube channel. I play music on here 4 nights a week. Every night I come on here at 6 o'clock, play music. And I play a whole wide variety of music. Some might be thematic, whatever in nature, whatever, so on and so forth.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I'm seeing like all these other channels are doing exactly the same thing I'm doing now.
Right.
Now it's not, there's nothing unique about it anymore, because now all of a sudden there's a million people that are doing it now. This is the same thing with like a podcast or whatever. Man, is there not a podcast for everything at this point? It's to the point where the ads on YouTube look like podcasts, because it's to the point where so many people are listening to them that they're actually using podcasts as advertising bait. It's out of this.
The thing is you're what makes it special, right? Like there could be 8,000, 10,000 channels playing music, but they're not Jimmy.
No.
So that's what makes it different. And I used to think that way before I jumped. I jumped into the podcasting thing. There was already like millions of podcasts when I jumped in. You
were on Podbean way back when, before there went Podbean, when there was no Podbean. You've been on Podbean forever, man.
It's about 6-7 years. There were still like the higher side chats was well on their way already. I was never a huge fan of that podcast, but they've been consistent forever and people listen, right? Or Freeman had been on forever.
Yeah.
I used to listen to Alex on podcast, so this was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to say, like, what can I bring to it, right? It doesn't. Everybody has a conspiracy podcast at this point, but you just jump in and you do your thing and you do it as well as possible, and people will listen. There is room for you.
Yeah, but I'm saying in this,
that's what makes it different.
In this,
but I get what you're saying.
In this sea of conspiracy, where it was before, it was like a 5,000-foot view. In other words, you're sitting up there and you're looking down at these 5 or 6 main things that everyone was concerned about. But now it's gotten to the point where there's so many people that are researching shit that it has become granular. It's not even about there's aliens. Okay, there's so many people that are true believers that it's not even, at this point, it's not about the aliens. In other words, we're going to take it for granted that there's aliens at this point. Now what we're doing is we're deciding who they are, what they look like, where they came from, and there's like a whole history of these beings that exist in these galaxies far, far away, and there's a whole history and all this stuff, and it's like people talk about it like it's common knowledge, like it's a given at this point. So go ahead, but it's not just with the aliens; it's with everything. Everything is that granular. It doesn't matter what it is; you can tell it and make a federal case out of it. In other words,
and they'll argue with you about it, right? There are the blue avians from Beta Reticuli. They exist, and that's fine. You want to believe that, right? Believe whatever you want. The thing is, with the alt media, it may have been complete bull from the beginning. At least 90% of this stuff, and it's hard for people to come to terms with that.
I got to agree, Billy. In a lot of research, a lot of these people are all connected, and they were before they had their shows, and their ideologies all match up. And that's what I was trying to say earlier, Jimmy, with that letter of the alphabet saying the same thing as all these other. they're all saying the same thing but in different ways.
They're not
And
saying
it's really creepy
anything.
and weird, and they all have
Listen,
these links.
That's the thing about the whole Q operation and all this and all these people like what was that dude's name? Juan 07 and all this shit is this Q thing. It's never been more than information that was already out there. Nothing was ever revealed. The shit was all conspiracy theories before it ever even got there. It got put all in one place, and a bunch of people that never saw that shit before all of a sudden saw it. But it was already there for 20 years, and they were walking around selling videotapes at hotel conference rooms in the alternative media.
But you got to trust the plan, Jimmy.
They were making a mailing list of useful people.
No, I'm the one that came up with the mailing list thing, dude. I'm the one that informed the whole place that listen, Jade Helm and Jade Helm 2 and Jade Helm 2 was when they developed the mailing list to develop the Q operation. That's where they put the people together to distribute the Q information. Was the whole mailing list they developed around the whole FEMA camps at the Walmarts and all that bullshit. All the people that were in Jade Helm 2, they weren't even aware of it. That's it. Those people were the seeders, dude. Because they all passed that information around. Everybody who passed that around sent an email, got paranoid, went out and bought, whatever. Man, all that whole thing was documented. It's mastering the human domain, man.
You're not off here, right? And how the alt media was targeted, or people of that subscribe to that point of view. They were definitely targeted, and to go back to Cambridge Analytica, right? That's what they did with Facebook. They targeted everybody that had a particular view. They tracked it. They data mined all this stuff, and when it came time to pump out the information, whomever they wanted you to chase or whatever they wanted you to chase, they knew exactly what would make you do it, and they went ahead and did that. And this isn't what I find most ironic about this whole situation is the alt media and the people who follow the alt media. We're looking for conspiracies to crack. And when we finally have a legit conspiracy to crack, we don't want to have anything to do with it. We want to chase the nonsense. QAnon shaman is making the rounds.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
And he's back. I've seen him.
I hear. QAnon shaman is making the rounds. He's been on at least 5 shows with people that I know.
Jason Burmis show.
I don't know. But
what's up, John?
Jason has gone full Trump support almost just about at this point. Even though he says he's not about any of that, but just listen to his show.
He's a wolf in sheep's clothing for sure.
God bless him. Regardless. He's all over the place. This guy walked into the Capitol building wearing a freaking I don't know what the hell he was wearing. He had gone around before that, going to QAnon conference after QAnon conference after QAnon conference, pushing this stuff. And he goes on all these shows on the alt media, and you think anybody actually told him, "Hey, listen, what the hell were you thinking?" No, they want to ask him everything else, and then they talk about the dude like he knows what he's talking about, and like he's some type of I don't know.
He is a shaman.
Pretty much. Oh, he's so smart. I'm like, yo, just anybody.
The thing is, dude, let me just say this.
Why did you subscribe?
If I was if I was working over at the agency or whatever, I'll just grab a dude like that. I'd throw him in there. I'd show you the videos. I'd say, yeah, man. And then I'd say he was in there in prison starving and this and that. And just like that, man, magically I create a controlled mouthpiece. Yeah. And just go out there and say whatever I tell him to. I'm not saying he is, and I'm not saying any of that's going on, but I'm just saying, like wake up, and smell the coffee, because that's how it is, man. I mean, all you do is put somebody in a situation, and the next thing they know, they're a rebel or whatever. You know what I mean? They're going against
nobody
the
wants
system.
to talk about the real here, and when I got involved in this, I thought we were gonna make some type of difference. We're gonna try to do the right thing.
We're making a difference.
And search the truth no matter what. But people, this is the furthest thing they want. They don't want the truth. They want to be entertained.
Yeah.
And they want to be lied to, because the lie is entertaining, and they want to feel like they're a part of something, right? They want to feel like they're a part of an army that's going to take down the New World Order or whatever it is, right? They want to feel like they're involved, and in all actuality, this is just like a LARP. It's nonsense. It's all complete total nonsense.
I've said for the longest time that conspiracy theory is the conspiracy. And you said it well, Billy, when you said we have a real conspiracy to crack and no one wants to do it, because that's basically like saying that the Matrix, we go to escape from the Matrix, but the Matrix is the thing we love, the conspiracy theory, right?
Right.
But if you look at the connections between all the players, there's as much of a conspiracy between them by the standards that we apply to the rich and powerful to say, hey, there's something going on here. And they have weird beliefs. They believe all the same kind of things we accuse the rich people of doing and believing that we say is evil and whatnot. So what's going on here, right?
Right. No, 100%, buddy. And
having the conversations with people and not talking about what the question really is, necessarily, and just overlooking some shit, because there's something about whatever that person is saying, or something about their ideology or whatever they're putting out there that matches up with yours. The rest of what they do is not favorable to you. You don't like them, but because they're saying something that aligns with what you're saying, you use their material for your broadcast or whatever. Because it's like a preacher pulling Bible quotes out of context to make whatever he's telling you seem like it's the right thing to do. When
you said that earlier, you said, I don't want to be like the Mockingbird, and I was going to say that the Mockingbird media is both sides of the equation now, the left and the truth-seeking, or not even the left, it's just the mainstream and the truth-seeking, both have their repeaters.
And I didn't say it like that either, but yeah.
No,
when you imitated me, I didn't appreciate the wussy sounding. I don't want to be a mockingbird. I didn't say it like that, man. I'm teasing you, S90. No, so listen, but no, well, I mean, we're having a serious discussion tonight, because what we were talking about was your ability to dream about the future. And so how do you have a future when the world's about to fucking end all the time, every 5 minutes or every 30 days or every, whatever it is, September 30th or whatever, whatever. And I'm just saying, how do you dream forward if that's the case? And if that is the case, when is it enough? I mean, when do you see the last article? When is the headline in the article the last one where you put, you know what, man, I'm going to put my computer down right now. I'm not going to look at this shit anymore. Because
people in the alt media are in a perpetual state of paranoia. Right, all the time, and anxiety, right, because of what the information we've been fed. Man, I was there for the longest, man, with Alex Jones, but I still did what I did, right? Like I still listened to the music that I wanted to listen to, even though they said it was, transferring like crap into your mind or whatever, and all this other stuff. I ate what I want to eat. I did what I want to do for the most part. I did what I wanted to do for the most part, even though there was an element of what Jimmy was talking about earlier in the show. Like what, you can't enjoy this, you can't enjoy that, you can't enjoy anything, right, in all media. And the most important thing and that we all need to take for anyone that comes into this knowledge, man, is that we need to realize that it's perspective, and it's good to know, but we can't fully give over our lives for this, and especially for things that you cannot prove. And the majority of the stuff you cannot prove. And I mean like 98% of it you cannot prove.
Well, the thing is, it's the court of public opinion is the time we're living in. The court of public opinion, and the granular demographic information that comes in millisecond by millisecond worldwide to screens is unprecedented. So literally, a person in the public eye could say something, and you could watch the wave of reaction across the planet in demographic. So that's literally where we are at this point. So once we've reached this level of information that's coming in constantly, not to say that us as our individual people, we can only take in so much, but what the machines are taking it all in and making something out of it. So if I say this, that happens. Well, what happens if you do this? Well, this will happen. And how much of a 99% capability do they have? Is that true? 99% that Google can predict 99% accurately what you're going to do ahead of time, based on your history, based on all the demographic information that's coming in constantly about you into your little file. It's coming in, the GPS, the phone calls, the this, the that, all the shit. It's all coming in there.
That's normal circumstances.
We have a caller.
Okay, great caller. Let me ask you this: so if Google can just predict that with a 99% accuracy based off your history, what do you think it's the percentages of accurate prediction could be on a global scale on the same kind of an idea? Welcome into the microcosm, caller.
It's Trish. Hi, Trish.
Hey, Trish.
Hey, guys. Great topic tonight.
Hey, thanks.
So you're asking, well, I'm sorry, the question you just asked was, what was the percentage, how accurate?
Yeah, it's 99.
AI?
Well, no, Google's 99% accurate about what you're going to do next, what your future action is going to be based on their demographic information on you and your history. So if they're 99% accurate on an individual basis, how accurate could they be on a worldwide basis based on their, information that's coming in? I'd say, if they claim a 99% accuracy, then that's a pretty tight accuracy to tout out there. So
are they actually predicting it, or are they making it happen?
Well, that's the thing.
Because
yeah, you're right.
So my feelings on AI, how they say it's basically kind of new, I don't believe that. I believe that AI was up and sentient, is that how you pronounce it, back in, 95 or 97, when they allowed the World Wide Web, the general population, to log on to the World Wide Web. I believe that's when AI was sentient way back then. I think that's what the World Wide Web is. I know that sounds wacky, like, well, no, that's not what World Wide Web is. Yeah, that's what it is. I think that is what AI, and it's sentient. And ever since the first time you logged in and got your first email address, it knows everything about all of us. It knows us better than we do ourselves.
Yes, I agree.
And as far as, I'm sorry?
I said yes, and I agree, and it's because the minute you opened a connection to the internet, you became a sensor or a node. And in the beginning, it was primitive. The information that came in, what you typed in, this and that and the other thing. But as time has progressed, the ability to collect it and the amount of information available to you and the stimulus that has happened to you psychologically and emotionally from the information, and all that is in your file. And even from the most primitive information.
Absolutely.
Listen, stick with us. Stick with us, Trish, because we're coming up on the break. It's revolution.radio, fully listener supported.
Cool.
Come on down. Become the supporters of this free speech that we call revolution.radio. It's an independent broadcast network, and we're not on freeworld.fm tonight, but Billy's.
Yes, we are.
Oh, that's right, we are. Well, freeworld.fm also then. God, see, I didn't know, Rio, you had it going on in the background. All right, listen.
That's right.
We're going to be right back.
It was a beautiful day. Sun beat down. I had the radio on. I was driving. Trees went by. Me and Del were singing a little runaway. I was flying. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. Running down a dream.
Hey, can you pass me the Grey Poupon?
Felt so good, like anything was possible. Hit cruise control and rub my eyes. The last 3 days, and the rain was unstoppable. It was
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio.
Are you interested in the paranormal, murder mystery, real natural law? Do you enjoy interviews with amazing guests? Then join Crypt Rick every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Revolution Radio. Studio A, freedomslips.com. Crypt Rick's iPhone thinking. Welcome to the crypt.
It is no secret that the so-called mainstream media is best described as controlled propaganda. Countless news stories are either totally ignored or spun with half-truths, and because of this, essential facts and vital information are often compromised. Join Dr. Ott every Friday night on Studio B at 10 p.m. Eastern and learn why The Story Behind the Story was nominated for a Peabody Award in its second year of producing unparalleled broadcasting excellence in 1997. That is, if you really care about learning the truth.
Interrupt your normally scheduled programming to bring you this important broadcasting announcement. Now is the time to explore your greatest potential, embracing truth, health, and wellness while discarding the system and exposing its corruption. Experience true freedom every Saturday night between 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live from Studio B, it's the Jonathan Wright Show. Find it right here at revolution.radio.
The Secret Kindergarten is here for the young children of the world. The best program on the radio for kids. Dealing with the most important topics in the whole universe. Fairy tales, music and movement, numbers, plants, animals, fun, colors, insects. Take care and keep your ears out. Catch a story from the world of other young things. Reach out, up, under, and over. Sing a song. Talk about feelings. Just remember the magic word. The magic word is no! Step on into the Secret Kindergarten. Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Right now, Revolution Radio.
anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week. Yes. But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting. Yes, I see. By a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs. Be quiet. But by a 2/3 majority in the case of more... Be quiet. I order you to be quiet. Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look! It's just a flesh wound. An unbeliever seems such a display of courage.
Free and flexible and creative as well.
Nerves, grace, and stupidity. I'll do you for that. Oh, what? Come here. What are you going to do, bleed on me? I'm invincible. You're a loony. The Black Knight always triumphs.
Roundtable Live, Monday through Friday, 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Bring your mind, bring your ideas, bring your voice. King Arthur had nothing on us here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. All right, thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And now we're going to get back to your host.
They destroyed the world, the entire Los Angeles area. Already hospital facilities have begun to crack under the strain.
It's Saturday morning on the East Coast, Friday night on the West.
Ride the tiger. I wanna ride the tiger.
We're riding the tiger in the middle of the night. FreeWorld.fm is the independent broadcast network. Revolution.radio, fully listener supported. Come on down, become a supporter.
The tiger. It's like a tear in the hands of a Western man.
We are cutting against the grain like O.J. Simpson up in here. We're breaking back against the grain and the alternative media. That's why we're the independent broadcast network. It's not the alternative broadcast network. It's the independent. Because we stand independent of all that noise over there. You know? You got to get the signal. Tune out the noise. It's into the microcosm. Billy Ray Valentine's here. S90's joining us. Rockin' Rio's here. Epic Journeyman has disappeared over the horizon somewhere with his pineapples on his shirt. But Trish has called in. If you want to give us a call, 718-618-9905. Trish, come on back. Now, do you got a dream that you... did your dreams get squashed in 2019? I mean, did you stop thinking about the future, like laying under the palm tree, that kind of thing?
You know, I think I still have dreams, but I think they're more realistic now. Dreams before were like what you were saying, sitting on a big yacht or seeing countries that I've never seen before, go to Greece or go to Egypt, which in reality, those dreams probably they were pipe dreams. You know, they're the little fantasies that you think you want to do this one day or you want to do that one day. And
you know
my
what?
dreams now are more realistic, and they're simple dreams, and they're dreams that I can actually make come true. And when I say they're very simplistic, like learning how to make perfect scrambled eggs. I mean, that's important, you know?
There you go.
And when you learn to make perfect scrambled egg, it is such... I mean, it really brings you joy,
I
man.
just thought of a perfect...
When you have realistic dreams that you can make come true, and you feel it is uplifting. And when you guys were talking about, you know, entertainment that is out now, entertainment's been dead since probably the middle 90s, really. I mean, I can't think of any shows that are decent. I have a TV, but I don't have TV cable or I haven't had that for 20 odd years. But I used to get, I'll get a movie or something from Redbox or the library. They're not interesting. They're not good.
Listen.
But I enjoy like watching old movies, like old black and white movies, and there's so many of them, obscure old movies, and they're so interesting, and the storylines are so cool. And
listen, when you brought up Egypt, I just came up with, in my mind's eye, a metaphor for the alternative media, and that is if you look at the pyramid from one side, it looks like ancient Egypt, but if you pan up and look behind that thing, it's like a shithole. I mean, there's like a Pizza Hut across the street from there. I mean, if you look at...
No, there is. He's serious. Like, there's a whole shopping mall. That's where all the pictures that people you see are taken. Is from that KFC or that Pizza Hut.
There's nothing but buildings. There's buildings everywhere. There's buildings everywhere. It's literally would blow your mind. It's a giant city.
I just want to say I really love that answer, though, that your dreams are more realistic now, because it sort of brought everything back into focus. The American dream is now, people are waking up. Whether it's for better or worse, we shall see.
Maybe
right, making
Trish,
small
right?
things that you can
Yeah,
learn
Trish.
to do. And I don't know, learning how to speak French, probably be better to learn how to speak Spanish,
Yeah.
I learned a little bit of that. Well, not much, but
I live in Canada. I need to learn Chinese.
smaller, and as far as the doom and gloom goes, you can get consumed with it, So it depends on how you look at things, and I kind of look at it as like, hey, if we all get blown up tomorrow, I look at it like that question. People always say, if you went to the doctor and he said you had 6 weeks to live, what would you do? So that's kind of how I look at it. I wake up in the morning, I thank God for another day, and I also thank him for however much time I got left, and I'm going to make the most of it today.
Yeah.
By making eggs.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
watching an old movie.
It's the simple things in life that bring the most pleasure, right? So
that sounds like the dream.
Why is it?
What is
why
that
is
racket?
it unrealistic to get over to Egypt? You can do that.
No, you can do it, but I mean, what does that
You can
sound?
do that. Those are realistic dreams that can be accomplished.
But I was going to say that earlier. There's nowhere in the world I would want to visit that would make me take Michelle Pfeiffer.
Who is making all that racket in the background?
I don't know.
It's stopped now.
I think we've been hijacked.
Trish, what were you saying?
What is that noise, man?
You're Billy. That is, traveling is a realistic. But like for me, I'm just a single woman, so might not be too safe to, go to those places. So for me, it is kind of a pipe dream. But you're right. For the average person, yeah, save up your money, go see some cool places. And I have traveled when I was younger, and saw some beautiful places, met some amazing people. But I guess what I meant was, money's tight, now, and thinking about going on extravagant, trips and things like that. It's not realistic, but, keeping things simple, you can make those dreams come true.
And I know, yeah. I mean, the thing is like, and keeping it simple is good, right? Because, like we were saying earlier, it's an inside job, and keeping it simple means you simplify your life. Things get easier. The more shit you have, the more things you got to manage. You know what I mean? The lesson. That's why people that attain high spiritual attainments have hardly any material value, material possessions, because every single one that you have is it's like a chain around your neck. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's funny how the American dream used to be like a 3,500 square foot house with all this and that, but then the reality of that is then you got to take care of the yard, you got to paint the house, and you got to manage and maintain and all this. So now the idea is let's go down. What is that racket, man?
I don't know, man.
I'm about to blow. What is
Ghost
that?
in the machine.
Whoever's on this call, if you're not talking right now, and you're not, is there more callers on here, Rio?
There's one calling in right now. Let's see, who is this?
All right.
All right, we got a new caller, 425. Hello.
Oh God.
Yeah, that'd be me. But before I start, I just wanted to say to Billy Ray.
No. Hijacker, is that you, man?
Yeah, my band?
No, you're not banned, but we're talking about we're not talking about Jesus already living and all that. We're talking about dreaming.
No. I'm caught. Listen, I'm a pro like you. We stick on topic.
All right.
All right, but before I get to the topic, I did want to tell Billy Ray that I do enjoy him with Don Jeffries on the round tables over on Rents. I try to catch him as much as possible. And the other smart guy, I don't know if it's Tony.
Yeah, that's Tony.
He's a gunslinger. Yeah, is that Tony?
Tony, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Guy.
Appreciate you, man.
Well, they're over on. You can check them out tomorrow over on. What's that? Where you at tomorrow, man, Billy? In the morning. Listen. Let me just tell you. So on Rents, what they do is they replay America Unplugged, Billy, over there.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, because Dawn is on it, and they used to replay Dawn's show, but then Dawn started doing more Unplugged, and so they started replaying the Unplugs over there. So that's where the Hijacker heard you. So Hijacker, to let you know, you can go over to his. They do the show tomorrow that you would hear played on Rents as a replay. You could hear it live tomorrow. Billy, tell them where.
Really?
12 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, tell them where to find it though. I
Is
can't.
that like
Tell them where to find
you
it.
get a hit every day? Is it every day? What days are they?
Just Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern.
Tell them where on
America Unplugged.
Rockfin.
America Unplugged.
On Rockfin. Yeah.
On Rockfin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
If you go to AmericaUnplugged.com, you'll get the podcast. But if you want to watch it live, it's on Rockfin.
Yeah, want to watch it live? Go there live tomorrow. There's chatters in there. You'll be happy. There's lots of people. You can chat it up with Tony and all them. So listen,
Yeah, I don't
dreaming.
I don't usually do chat.
Well, let me ask you a question. Yeah, did your dreams get squashed, man? Has your well been poisoned to the point where you can't find any beauty today or dreams in the future?
Right, so that's what I was going to say about having dreams, about being happy. Once you get into the alternative media, no, your life's over.
Forget all that.
Because it has to do with the meaning of life, actually.
Right.
If you actually go and take a look, for instance, you never heard Jesus laugh, and he says he was a man of grief and sorrows. And I'm convinced now that just the nature of this world, that we're not supposed to be happy and giggly. There shouldn't be games like golf, or grown men shouldn't be playing, with footballs. Balls were made for children. So my whole world since the alternative media. So now I'm convinced that we've been born into a war, all of us. And that the normal course of events is, a child should be happy, eat ice cream, your little 8-year-old girls in pink polka dotted shirts, cute, like toys and trucks and Barbie dolls. But as we grow, this is where I think this is the disease of our modern era.
Would you think that life is mostly suffering with fleeting bits of happiness as a pretty carrot to keep you trudging along the road to happy destiny?
Well, that's what it turns out for most. And also most, basically, the way they live their life, the disease of modern humanity is, what's in it for me? What's my best interest? Where's my self-interest in this? And if you want to know how we got in this shape, and I hate to harp on it because I do it on my show, it's the Christian white male American baby boomer elite, 60 to 80 years old, that demographic. You want to know why all these communists took over? While we're talking about trainees, is because that group of people, they took their life, They took their little kingdoms and businesses and ministries, and they just said, "To hell with the rest of you," and they didn't do anything.
Oh, you mean the
Now, I'm not
guys
talking
that
about-
went into Vietnam and came back with missing arms and was spit on and shit? You mean those guys?
Yeah.
Those guys that got
No.
went from high school straight to Vietnam? Are those group of guys you're talking about?
Or did you not hear the definition? Christian, white, male,
I heard you.
American, baby boomer, elite. Elite. I'm talking about the cream of the crop.
Hey, breaking news. Breaking news. Penelope in the chat said barges have broken loose on the Ohio River and now are careening recklessly. It says the bridge in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, all traffic has been halted. It's into the microcosm is Saturday night, April 12th. Hijackers called in. Trish has called in. Rock and Rio's here. S90's here. There's somebody at Billy Ray Valentine's here. Jeez. All right, Billy.
Yeah, we got a full deck tonight.
We do. Come on in. So, come on in here, Rock and Rio. I haven't heard from you yet. It seems that the hijackers is on the side of the coin that says that once you find out the truth, it's hard to go back. It's almost impossible to go back. And I'm putting forward a hijacker that at the point that you realize that every single thing is suspect. In other words, you can't eat the food, you can't drink the water, you can't breathe the air, you can't trust the government, you can't go to the doctor, all that. Once it becomes all that, then isn't it really back to the way it was originally? As everything is bad, you might as well just do whatever. You might as well go to the doctor. You might as well eat the food, you might as well breathe the air, and you might as well eat the, because at this point, it doesn't matter. Pick a thing to be worried about, and there's going to be 1,000 other things you're not paying attention to that are going to kill you just the same. So at this point, why worry, man? Why not just
eat, drink, and be merry.
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
So what you're prescribing is a hedonist, right? Why not be a hedonist? I had a brother that was like that. Well, he was a federal agent. He said his goal in life was to have as a maximum amount, as much pleasure as possible with the least amount of pain or sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way he lived his life.
Mm-hmm. Some
So,
people
are like that.
Well, some people say living a life like that is living a life of sin, that you're supposed to suffer, and then you get your reward later. You're not supposed to have a reward now. 23 barges. Hang on a second. 23 barges. 3 were loaded. 6 barges. Yeah, it looks like it's a barge accident. All right, sorry about that. Go ahead, Hijacker.
Yeah, my only point, this is what I want to leave people with. I know you got a full panel here, is that people start off on life on what is in my own personal best interest. Okay, I go to college, I get a job. Yeah, I want to be a dental assistant or a dentist, or I want to start this company. And so everything they start with is what is the best thing for me in my life, when really the meaning of life is basically to know, to love, to serve God. What's his best interest? Well, when it comes to his best interest, it's people. And so then you sort of live your life for the maximum impact upon people that go along with what is the best interest of the Most High. And I think that's the separation there.
Well, I'm going to ask you.
95
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked S90, and the question I posed earlier, that once you come into the alternative media and you listen to Alex Jones and you learn about research and you start doing all this research, and then you take and turn the research around on Alex Jones and find out the guy that taught you how to do it has a bunch of skeletons in his closet. Have you ever taken the same account of look at your religious beliefs as you do whether or not the government's lying to you or what shape the earth is?
What do you mean? Do I call them into question?
No, I mean, do you examine the Word of God in the same way that you do trying to figure out what the government's up to? In other words, do you put the same amount of effort into your religious followings as you do into the alternative media type information. In other words, what I'm saying to you is what I'm posing to you, what I said to S90 earlier. In other words, if you spent all the hours that you spent scouring the earth to figure out whether or not what something's true or not, if you spent that same amount of time in that book, where would you be in your religious, spiritual attainment scale at that point? Because you haven't spent that much time on your Bible as you have figuring out what's going on in the world.
Right. Well, once I've come to this realization, and I came to it many years ago, basically I've been a man of war for 30 years. And as far as reading the Bible, I've read the Word of God cover to cover, literally 40 times.
Yeah, I'm not talking about reading it. I'm talking about reading a paragraph of it and then sitting there and thinking about it, going over it, researching it, looking at the looking at the letters, looking at the words that are used, researching it down to the granular level to have a firm grip and understanding of it.
That's why when I tripped across the Tartarian Empire and the mud floods, that's what led me to this other. I said, where's that in the Word of God? Where are the scriptures that would back that up? And then I found like 30 of them. And I went, how did I see that before?
Let me give you another metaphor. How about this? How about if every day, instead of scouring the earth for the horrible shit, instead of doing that, every day you picked up a hammer and some nails and you went out with some wood and you built some shit instead, and you spent all the time building something with wood and hammers instead of looking for bad stuff and information, what kind of a house do you think you'd have by now?
Oh, you're talking about be happy. You mean do what the baby boomers did? Yeah. Oh, I'd be rich. Shoot, if I had done what you're talking about back in Charleston, South Carolina, as a real estate agent.
Now, dude, you're missing it. You're missing it, hijacker. But thanks for calling, though. But listen, you're missing it. What I'm saying to you is, quit spending any more energy on what you're spending your energy on, and spend the energy on the inside job known as the hijacker. Don't spend 20. Don't spend 20.
Being at war.
Stop being at war.
Happy.
No, I'm saying be at peace and turn to your good book if that's the book you believe in, and put the energy that you put into the alternative media and scouring the earth for bad information, put that into living a positive spiritual life for yourself and change the world, because it's an inside job, man. There's nothing you're going to say and there's nothing you're going to do that's going to change the world. The only thing you got control over, brother and sister, is yourself. And so the minute you change yourself to make your world be the one you want to live in, then that's the world you're living in. And guess what? If you're enthusiastic, other people are going to join you in your quest to live a beautiful life. And you can. Anytime you decide to. Because, I mean, unfortunately, I'm not saying what I'm saying because I'm trying to get millions of listeners to listen to us. No, I'm doing exactly the opposite of that. I'm telling you what I'm telling you because I think, at some level you gotta cut it off somehow. And so, stop allowing the sewage to, be pumped into your face. That's why they used to say turn off the TV. They used to say turn off the TV. I'm saying turn this off. Turn it off.
Yeah, it is getting to the point in which I don't see any more reason to actually interact or engage or be on the radio or to interject any more ideas, because it looks like it's almost to the point where at the point of no return. It's like we're getting ready to go over the falls. So you're right. I am completely switching gears and going to live a fairly selfish life.
It's not selfish. No, I'm not talking about being selfish. What I'm talking about is living in a world that you're in control of, because you're not. The only thing you're in control of is yourself. You can't control your wife. You can't control your kids. You can't control your kids. You can't control me. You can't control Billy. You can try to convince us, but you can't control us. The only thing you're actually in control of is yourself. And on some level, some people believe you're not even really in control of that. You're just stumbling through fate and circumstances, and however you make of the situation is what you are, is who you are at the end. It's not who you are when you have shit. It's who you are when you don't have anything. It's when you're broke and you give some dude your last $10 because he's more messed up than you. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. It's not about be who you are, how much money you give to people when you have money. It's how much money did you give to somebody when you had no money.
Yeah, but then you're getting back to what I'm talking about, is that we're in a war, and this is what this whole life is about. We're in a realm that's a war for our soul.
Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the war was lost. You played that song on your show. I mean, so the thing is, dude, it doesn't mean you're giving up, dude. It just means you realize that the only thing that's going to solve what's going on is a power greater than ourselves at this point. There's nothing that we can do. This train is a runaway train. We're all on it. We're in the dining car having a cocktail or whatever, but we're not in control of the train at all. We don't know when it's going to stop. We don't know if it's going to stop or if it's going to keep going.
Yeah, no, we can all feel it. We're right at the end.
All right, listen.
There's been one hell of a ride.
It has.
That's for sure.
When it's not over, it's not over now.
Taking my call.
Oh, no worries, man. We love you. We love you, Hijacker, man. Take care of yourself, brother.
Okay, I appreciate it.
No worries. Go ahead. All right, Rio, who else do we got on the line?
Trish is still here.
All right, Trish. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Are you okay? You're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
I was
you're
taking
not,
it all.
Yeah. No, I just want to make sure you're not pissed. The hijacker didn't.
You know what? One of my biggest faults is, and I really do try to work on it, but I tend to mirror people. That's why I love your guys' show, because you guys are always interesting and positive, and I feel like I'm interesting and positive when I listen to you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, wow, that was interesting. Think about that. But when something is negative, then I'm negative, and I hate that. I hate that about myself, and I really do need to work on it. And I don't know if Billy Ray is still online, but I do want to apologize to him for saying he was soothing. I understand that, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump.
What did you call me, Trish?
I don't want to rip off any Band-Aids or scabs. I just want to apologize to him.
No. I don't remember. What did you call me? What did you say?
Oh, I didn't call you anything. I just kind of overtly said y'all were seething and frothing.
Oh, I remember now.
Which, listen, this is how I feel about Trump. I feel about Trump the same way I do about Biden. They're all players in a game. It's the same with me and you watching a TV show and you saying, man, I hate that guy. That guy's an asshole. And you getting really upset because a character in a TV show was a real jerk and he shot a dog. It's like, Billy, it's just a show, man. He ain't real and that dog ain't dead. But in this case, they probably did kill the dog. But
Trish, you're good. It's all good. I don't take offense. I speak passionately about this sort of stuff, I turn it off and I'm about my business, like Jimmy knows I'm pretty chill. I really don't like Donald Trump. And when I talk, it comes across, and it rubs some people the wrong way, but I'm way past trying to make friends about this sort of stuff. Not you, Trish. We're cool.
We're number 6 over there on TalkStream Live right now. Billy, say hello to TalkStream Live. It's Trish.
What's up? TalkStream Live. What's going on over there? Hope everybody's doing well. But beyond that, Trish, we got to get over to Egypt, because that's one of my bucket list things, right? I've never been over to Europe. I've never been over to Africa or Asia. I've been up and down North America, Central America, and South America. There's still a lot of South American countries I need to see, but I've been down there. But I got to get myself over to Egypt. I want to see Jordan. I want to go to Israel. These are all things I'm planning on doing.
You know what? There is a
total eclipse, I'm going to be one of those people now that like really just jam on total eclipses, because that thing was just phenomenal. There's a total eclipse that'll be seen in Egypt in 2025, I think. Now that is a bucket list. That would be something so cool to see.
Now that would be dope to see, to go over there and see that. I also want to get baptized.
That's beautiful.
Over in
That's wonderful.
in Israel. I've already been baptized, but I want to be baptized over in Israel. And they do it for free.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Right. That would be dope. I want to go ahead and do that. I've been to Chichen Itza here in Mexico. I saw the Quetzalcoatl's pyramid up close. It was beautiful.
What did that feel like there? Was there a vibe there?
No, there was no vibe. There was rain. On the one day that I went, it was pouring rain, and it typically doesn't rain there. It was awe-inspiring. There was that type of vibe, but I didn't feel anything like resonating, like, oh, I'm connecting to something here. I was just like, damn, there goes that pyramid. And that's Quetzalcoatl over on the side of it.
Here's the thing. If you could lay down in the sarcophagi or whatever it is in the center of the pyramid, if you could lay down in it, people would talk shit about you. Man, Billy laid down in that.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Opening portals in Trump Tower, like two of our friends.
Dude.
I went into a cenote over there. That was very cool. Where they're supposed to have healing waters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I went for a quick swim in there. And in Chichen Itza, it's a pyramid within a pyramid within a pyramid. There are 3 pyramids in there. It's just gorgeous. They're gorgeous to see. And I plan on getting at more. So we need to get over to Egypt, is what I'm saying. That's it. We can't. That's not an unattainable goal. It can be done. We should do it.
I know. Well, the thing is, I don't know. This whole traveling thing, makes a lot of people nervous nowadays.
I went over to see Jimmy. I got to see JG in the flesh.
You're the only person in the alternative media I've ever met personally.
And we will do it again.
Besides Clyde Lewis and Ron and them from Ground Zero. I met them in person, but they didn't come specifically, hey, Jimmy, and like that.
I came to see old Jimmy.
I
We're
know.
going to do it again. We're going to do it and hot tacos. It was fun.
I know. Well, we will again. Tacos, like I said, they ain't 50 cents anymore. But 718-618-9905. Give us a call. We're talking about dreams. You still have them? After the 2019 and beyond. A lot of people don't, but we're talking about it tonight, and we're airing it out, and we're trying to find out if it's possible to even be able to go back and pretend you're eating a steak when you know it's gray slop. I don't know. Is it possible? I don't know, man. You go to Disneyland, you ride rides, it's not real, right? When you're in Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Is that even a thing?
You're in Mr.
Toad.
Yeah, you're in Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, but it's not real, right? But while
Rio
you're
knows
there,
about that. What's up with Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Rio?
I don't think I've ever been on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. Dude, you gotta go on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Real.
Oh, man, that's the one they talk about.
Right.
That's the one.
X90 knows all about Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, too.
S90, do you know about Mr. Toad's Wild Ride?
I don't think I do. Don't
stop lying to him. Don't be humble. You know all about Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Listen, man, if you don't know...
It's an inside joke I'm not getting. I'm scared.
Boys,
how do I answer this one?
It's for the first time.
No, it's not inside. It's not
Mr. Toad and Mr. Frog were...
Is there a description
part
somewhere?
of the alternative to the alternative of the alternative.
Here, go type in Wikipedia Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and see what it says.
And we have another caller here.
All right, let's take our caller while you go see what Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is.
I'd love to.
Okay, 778. Turn down your radio.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Timmy Dean.
Yes, sir.
It's Randy.
Hey, Randy, what's happening? The amazing Randy has joined us, ladies and gentlemen. He's literally the reason we call him Amazing Randy is because one night he spewed out so many conspiracy theories in 5 minutes. It was literally unbelievable. So we call him the amazing Randy. Randy, do you dream? Yep. Do you have dreams of the future? Are you gonna be laying under the palm trees with the boat drink?
Well, yeah. Actually, when I was a kid, my dreams were of UFO aliens chasing me, whatever, were so bad that it's nothing that I really want to think about. But I do have a conspiracy, a theory, actually.
All right.
And it has to do with you guys were talking about the QAnons and all that kind of. QAnon is a black op. You know, it's actually an effort to discredit the Q group. That's what I think. But
to discredit the Q group.
What's that?
What did you say?
To discredit the Q group. Right?
Who's the Q? You mean you think to discredit it? You mean you believe it?
Well, it's not a matter of belief. If it's true, it's true. If
it's not,
it's
true,
not.
though.
But what I'm saying,
right? It's
is
not.
That I know,
there is no Q.
I know of.
Dude, there's no Q.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you. I mean, I don't want to break the heart or whatever. I know. Believing there's a white hat going to save the children in the cages under the underground cities. I know that's a really strong belief for a lot of people, but bro,
on Mars,
it's not going to happen. It's not real, man. Listen, it's never been real. It's not going to be real, and that's it. The end. And there's no matter how much you talk about any of that shit, is it ever going to do anything to make it stop either? The children are not going to get saved. The children are not going to get saved by people going on talk radio shows talking about it. The only thing that goes on is the people that are into it listen to that shit and get off on it. So you're not doing anything to save the children by talking about it, making people aware of it.
Well, I'm not trying to save the children by talking about it. I had something to say about it, which I haven't said yet. Well, by the way, shout out to Trish there. You're a really cool person. I like what you're saying. Anyway, my nephew is in Space Force. Yeah, no problem. My nephew is in Space Force. He's an analyst, like Snowden, right? I call him the Ed Snowden of the great family.
Okay.
And he knows a lot of shit of what's going on, but he can't talk about it, you know. But
you're getting all weird and muffly. You sound like muffled.
Okay.
Can you get close?
Yeah, I've got problems with with my phone for the microphone. Anyway, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's much better. Go ahead.
Okay. This year, have you ever heard of Cicada 3301?
Yeah, man, it's a scam, bro.
Cicada?
That's what QAnon started from. That's a scam, man.
So this
dude, maybe it is, but I've got something to say about it. 3301 Cicada. By the way, this is the year of the 17-year cicada, you know. And of course, 17th letter of the alphabet, you know, that's Q and all that. So there's a lot of talk about that. There was a movie about it too. And my theory about this is that if it's true, and if the Q group was trying to, and I did this, I went online, this was about a decade ago, and they basically put out this call to anyone who wanted to try to join their group. If you could figure out the mathematical test that they give you, you could, you know, maybe join their group and whatnot. Okay, and I took the test and I got through the first part of it, and what it is 3301 is a prime number, and the 17-year cicada. By the way, I think this is the year of the 17-year cicada too. Now, Dr. Steve Pachenik, you probably know who he is. He's been on.
There he goes, the amazing Randy. Yeah, Q, Steve Pachenik. No.
Yeah, I was getting ready to listen to
I was waiting to hear some stuff. I was waiting to hear some deep knowledge that I could actually
hear that.
No, sorry about that, man. I got my finger on the button, son.
That's 90. Real quick.
See,
Cicada 3301 was some kind of like a game, right? Some mathematical equation that's never been broken or whatever, that they turned into some type of scam. Would you? I know you know a lot more about this.
Well, yeah. So it's not. It was a one of those ARGs online, and it was sort of a yearly occurrence for a few years there, and it kind of every year on a certain date, a post would be made on like 4chan, I think it was, or something.
Right.
And it would have a clue, and you'd have to uncover the whatever the URL hidden in the music, or find the secret layer of the image beneath the image of the duck or whatever that was on the page. And you'd solve all these puzzles, go through all these websites. Time would have to pass for new things to unlock. And allegedly at the end there was like a questionnaire, and you were allegedly invited to join a group, and then you know, people claim they were in it, people claim they weren't, people claim they got the I don't know any of that. I watched it from sort of a distance. I watched someone as they solved it, on their live stream. But I think they made a movie about it too. At one point there was a movie made, and then some of the people were claiming, that's me, I'm the guy in the movie, they based that on me, right? Like I don't know, man.
That's the whole thing right there.
It does feel like
that's a nutshell right there, dude, is that
it was a LARP. The whole thing was a LARP.
It was, but that's a nutshell right there, is somebody thinking that was me. Every single person thinks that's them. Because they all think that they're the only person. That's
main
the
character
thing.
Syndrome.
Right. It's like when you're an Alcoholics
They were looking for somebody. They were looking for patsies.
When you're an Alcoholics
when
you're an Alcoholics Anonymous, there's a moment when you realize you're not alone. Okay, because you go through your life until you try to not drink anymore and do drugs. You go through your life thinking that you're the only person that feels like that. You think that's why you drink, and then you go in a room full of other people that all have the same problem as you, and you realize you're not alone, man. You know? And that's the thing, is they've spent quite a bit of money and time making us all feel like we're alone in our house, out of control on a runaway train. And what I'm trying to tell you tonight is, it's not that. It's what you make it today. Period. Whatever world you want to live in, man, start living in that world. Yeah. Now, if you want to live in a world where it's happy and things are cool and this and that, man, go buy some flowers at the grocery store for no reason. Just put them in your house, man. Smell them. You know what I mean? Start making your life a beautiful place to be, and quit waiting for the end of the world, man. The end world's going to come, man, and when it does, you're going to be sorry that you didn't do all the shit you wanted to do. Believe me. That moment of realization is going to come for every single one of us. And no
Seriously, man, when you die, that's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. People are waiting for Jesus Christ to come back. Man, what if you die before he dies? That's the end of the world. That's it. It's over. Right? So enjoy your life. Learn everything you need to learn. Enjoy the bad times. Enjoy the good times. Learn from them.
Yeah, and there's another layer to this where you don't even have to worry about what is and is not awaiting you after. Like, if you die and there is nothing, there's no God, then you're not going to be too worried about anything. There's just going to be nothing. But if there is, the only thing that can happen is there is something, and you will have regrets about not doing things with the life that apparently is everybody wants so badly. Maybe I'm not seeing it, but like Jimmy was saying, like,
if a society has a religious belief system, regardless if it's outside of your own, the one thing you know for sure is that it has some sort of spiritual value to it. It's not, there's nothing out there necessarily that, and I'm not talking about the evil satanic shit, I'm talking about just religions in general, mainstream religions. Most of the majority of everybody really just wants there to be peace and happiness for each other. You know?
Yeah.
The thing is when we become separated from each other, and then we become isolated. Once we become isolated, we feel like we're all alone, and that nobody can hear our voices, and that's why a lot of people come on and try to talk on the air, try to say, "Hey, man, this is what I see," and there's lots of people out there trying to do good things, and it's not what we're saying is not bad, but we're also saying is at some point you have to make a realization for yourself that you got to take a break from it, even if it's for a day. Try to just do it for a day. It's one day. Literally, it's one day at a time. I mean, addictions to this type of shit is like, not only does it have to get worse and worse for you to get any dopamine from it, but it's like, at some point you just got to try to stop and just, maybe it's 1 minute at a time. People like the abuse, man, really. That's really what it is. It's kind of abusive to yourself on some level. It's like whipping yourself with a cat of nine tails for the sins of all these other people had nothing to do with you. You didn't do anything to anybody. You're just over there minding your own business, man, trying to live a life. You don't need to punish yourself anymore and be bludgeoned to death by this horrible information. Try to flood your mind with something else or whatever. I don't know. Breathe in, breathe out, through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Drink water. Say I love you when you, didn't before. Whatever it is. I don't know. It's minute by minute at this point. I'm Jimmy. It's in the Microcosm, Revolution.radio, freeworld.fm, and the Independent Broadcast Network. Billy Ray Valentine's here, S90's here, Rockin' Rio's here. Trish has called in. Is there anybody else here that I don't know about?
Karen Carpenter's in the chat. What's up, Karen Carpenter? How are you?
Hey, Karen's in the chat. Amber's in the chat. Nigel's in the chat. Billy Ray Valentine's in the chat. What was up with Mike? He said he was out. I think he got mad. I don't know what we said. Pissed him off. But I guess we'll figure it out.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
David's in there too. Yeah,
maybe it's just time for bed for him.
David's in there too. All right, could have been. Maybe it was time for bed. It's time for bed for a lot of people. We got about 12 minutes left. Any final thoughts there, Trish, before we head out?
Great show tonight.
Hey, thank you. We really appreciate you calling in too. Hey, 718-618-9905. If you wanted to call, now's the time to do it. We got a few minutes left. 718-618-9905. Give us a call. So, you guys over here, S90, Rio, Billy Ray Valentine, any final words? We're going out the door here. We're on our way out. The rain's coming in for me tomorrow. Mike Mont don't like the hijacker. Well, some people do, some people don't. But, it's for people to decide. We provide, you decide, like Hilbigger used to say. Okay, Billy Ray Valentine, Rock Rio, S90, you guys got any closing thoughts?
Yeah, man, I got some closing thoughts. Rock and Rio won't come to New York. I don't know if he's ever been to New York. I have no physical proof that he's ever been inside the 5 boroughs, and we're gonna cut out Staten Island. Staten Island doesn't count.
No, Staten Island, just a pile of garbage anyway.
Right, so I don't think he's ever stepped foot in this pile of garbage that I call home, and I would like to see that happen.
many times, man.
Dude, he was weren't you?
Look, we used to play at this place. It's now closed, and we did the closing night. It's called Chicago Blues. It's down on 14th Street, 10th Avenue, right down there in the Meat Market District.
Listen to you.
We used to hang out down there all the time. Like, probably we used to play that place like once a month, consistently. And we'd always go uptown a little bit there, and we'd stop at Gray's and get ourselves some recession special hot dogs with a papaya juice for $2.50 way back when. So I've been around, man. I've been around the city plenty of times.
Were you in Rudy Giuliani's New York, where he cleaned it up and took away all when you had the stop and frisk? They had the stop and frisk.
The last time I was actually in Manhattan was when we did a car show at the Javits Center. We were invited to that, and that was, I believe, 17 or 18. So, I haven't been into the city in about 5 years, but
incredible. You call yourself a New Yorker.
There's a lot more to New York than just Manhattan, man.
No, there's not.
Yeah,
it's fight. It's Manhattan, the Bronx, and Brooklyn. That's all there is.
Yeah, well,
and Queens.
You should come up here, man, and get some fresh air and see the flowers and smell the roses. If you come up here at the first week of July, my blueberry bushes will be in bloom. You can come get some fresh blueberries right off the bush, man.
Yeah, dude. See, Rio's
Rio's
trying to. Rio's coaxing you.
I've been in the swamp, man, and let me tell you, the air is much fresher up
Listen, here it is, man. New York is a metaphor for the alternative media, dude. You can either be down there in the shithole, getting your sneakers dirty, or you could roll up to Uncle Rio's place for some fresh blueberry muffins and some farm fresh eggs, dude. You see? So maybe you're wrong, man. Maybe you don't know the real New York, bro.
Nah, man, you can't get any real pizza up there by Rio.
Oh, you kidding
Sure
me?
you can, man. Oh, yeah, you can.
Oh, man, dude. Now
I've had pizza all over the city. I've been to Katz's Deli.
Dude,
let me tell you, there's a little Italian deli up here that would rival just any other deli that's down.
Billy,
down
you got to get on the train and go visit Rio. You got to get out of New York, bro. You got to do what we're talking about tonight. You got to have the dream.
You got to escape from New York, bro.
Yeah,
you got to escape, man.
And
be
visit
Snake Plissken and get out. Yeah, be like Snake and get out, man.
I've been to where you live, and it's really bad pizza. You can't get good bagels anywhere either.
Well, if you go into the places that are like off the, look, man, there's so many Hasidics and Jewish people up here. There's a great Jewish deli, and you think you can't get a good bagel from the Jews? Boy, I'll tell you that they actually know how to make their bagels, dude.
All right, dudes, listen, it's time to GTFO, man. I've been beaten to a pulp this week. I've been using my back instead of my brain to make my money, and that takes a toll on a brother, believe me. So we're about to head on out. Want to thank you for joining us. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Pacific, you can find us freeworld.fm. Hopefully, if I can connect. Hopefully, we'll get the connection issues solved, since I've been connecting without a problem since before the network was even on the air. Nothing's changed. Now all of a sudden I can't connect, so I don't know what's going on over there. But I do know this. Tomorrow morning, you can find them over there on Rock Thin. America Unplugged, Billy Ray Valentine. Thanks for calling Trish. Thanks for callers. Randy, no offense, bro, but feel free to call back. I don't want to hear about that 17th letter of the alphabet. Well, that concludes another episode of Into the Microcosm Rockeria. Say goodnight to everybody over on Revolution Radio.
Good night, everybody.
Go ahead, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Tell someone you love them. God bless.
God bless you. Dream the dream, man. Keep the faith, baby. Faith can move mountains.
Of all the faces unknown, cold, dark, and empty eyes, and so far to go. I found the world inside my head no longer tells its lonely emptiness within me that burns. Still I'm searching madly for the reason of the rhyme. If I could find the answer, I'd have it for all time. But I can't wait for tomorrow. I can't wait for the stars and the sun and the sea
Me, I don't want to make a mistake, jeopardize my future. You want to know something? Every now and then, say what the fuck. What the fuck gives you freedom? Freedom brings opportunity. Opportunity makes your future.
Your stats are very respectable. Done some solid work here. But it's not quite Herculean, is it?
You know, Bill, one thing I've learned in all my years, sometimes you gotta say, what the fuck?